Says I got excellent connection. We should be going live. Look at that.
And it works.
It says it's on public. Yeah, we should be good. We should be live.
Okay. Give me 1 sec to double check my end, and we'll just figure out the kinks and stuff. Yeah, I see it coming up.
Yeah, we're on there with the proper name and.
Let's have a look at this overlay as well. Okay, so
Tell me how it sounds as well if you could.
I'll step outside in a minute so there's no background noise. Yeah, that looks all clean to me. So there's nothing playing in that cube in the top right hand corner. It's, oh, now there is. Now there is. Okay. 30-second delay on the live stream, which is about right.
And then the YouTube chat is
Okay.
there, and I made it transparent, so once there's some shit in the chat, that should pop up.
Okay, right, so let me just check all the other bits. TLA, Ask the Audience Game Show, Last Dark and Last Dark Live, Last Dark Daily every week, Last Dark in chat. Your chat box looks good.
Yeah, we need to fix it.
You got video playing in the top right. Dude, it looks very pretty. Okay, cool, very cool. Yeah, sick. I took a screenshot. Okay, right.
This wasn't too hard to set up, and then I can.
6 o'clock, 2 minutes there, 1 hour, 1 hour.
See how it's in the chat.
Okie dokie. Right, so in terms of your plan, are you thinking of going ahead and like, did you want to do something else for a little bit until potentially Lucas and that arrives, or did you, like, I can fire some stuff off in the meantime, or?
I mean, I can cut stream right now, or we can keep going. It don't matter.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm down. Just undoing my headphones and then I'm ready.
We have one watching right now. What's up to me?
Really? Really? Unfortunate soul having to listen to it getting set.
But yeah, the chat is on, and then for some reason it doesn't want to keep playing this video until I toggle back over to this window capture. And
Okay. So like, so just play a play like a
I just have to make sure that I just toggle back over to this thing every now and then. Like that's
yeah,
how
like if
chat is the same way. It won't update on stream like actively. It'll only do it like every couple of minutes unless I have that unless I hover over it.
yeah, it like, yeah, if it does cut but like get too bad, we'll just chuck something on and then slow it down to like 1% speed or some shit. Or not 1%, but you know, low speed so the video lasts for ages.
If you could just let me know what the audio is like I've got it on 2 different.
It sounded fine to me. I only had us two hear. I could only hear us two, but yeah, it sounded absolutely fine.
Like, did you hear music in the background? You should be able to hear some music, and you didn't hear like an echo from me.
What I'll do is I'll deafen up from this just to make sure.
Testing. Mind the delay. Testing.
Like the music's good. You're a little quiet. I'm a little loud.
Yeah, I can bring up my mic a little bit, and mess with the Discord settings for volumes, but I'll pull my mic up a
Mm-hmm.
little bit, and hopefully that's fine, and I don't get any like reverb or anything.
Yeah.
All right.
They'll let us know anyway. We'll get it down. And then
Yo,
I'll smoke now. And
TJ in the chat. What's good, brother?
so, tell me, and to whoever else, what this is, considering the title and stuff.
Well, today we are the last arc, and we are going to be going into the craziness that is 1071 that we saw last weekend in preparation for 1072 happening later tonight. We're going to be talking about Gear 5 Luffy just breaking the internet, making waves across all of the seas, as well as maybe some live action goodies and some discussion about that. And just general anticipation for the chapter that is soon to drop. But we're gonna be keeping it real, going over all of the One Piece greatness that we've all been blessed with this week.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Nice. Yeah, and who are we expecting?
Shortly we should have the helmsman of the last arc, the Straw Hat Lucas himself. We are also anticipating a visit from Cube of the Red Sea. We have King Calm himself, No Chill Dill in the house. We have the Cushmaster, Den Den, the captain of the last arc.
Hello.
Me, myself, Vexus D Lurking Legend. I think there's also, on the grapevine, I might have heard that Grand Line bound Captain Smokey might be making an appearance. This is
Maybe.
hype.
Depends where the wind takes it, yeah, but if we catch the smokes, then that's what we'll get. Jackson's saying hello. Yeah, okay, sweet. So, yeah, like that's pretty clean. Like, so I think basically I'll fire out some. I'll just chill with you two and like ask you two some shit for a bit, if you want, and then when it's a little bit warmer, we'll wake Lucas up and bring a sick cube in here and start cooking with the actual main event.
He's in a sick cube. I'm dead. Sorry if I'm coming in a little bit quiet. You guys still figuring out my volume levels and whatnot. Thank you for
You sound louder now.
in the chat. Yeah, and what's up, Duran? Good seeing you, buddy. But yeah,
Let me get. I'm just gonna pull some questions.
To get us started on.
Yeah. I'm just pulling some bits and bobs now. It'll be the first time we like use the proper master as well. And if I'm not mistaken, it's 12.5 pages of just OP trivia. So it's a pretty dark list. Right, let me see where we are. We got. Okay. Right, let me close this one and open this one instead. Okay, cool, right. Let's try some of these out for now. The first one is what is the chemical symbol for the element tungsten, but that isn't OP related.
No, I fail to see how that. I fail to see how that's One Piece related, but interesting.
It doesn't have a answer to it as well, so it's kind of annoying.
Just T?
Hopefully it's T.
I think it's just T. Right?
Hopefully. It's just us two at the moment, so yeah, we can say it's T. No one's gonna. Yeah, the second one is who wrote the novel Brave New World. That's also not OP related. What's going on here? Oh wait, Lucas is saying.
Unhinged. Well, thank you everybody in chat for being here with us. We will get it all figured out shortly. What's up, Tachi? In the chat?
Yeah. Also, let us know about the overlay and like if you got any ideas and tips, because we just like whipped it up recently and chucked it on there. Still not got it sorted, so. Okie dokie. Right, this is more related. Oh, there's so many as well.
Get my audio fixed up just a second.
That's cool. You gotta go read that chapter as well at some point.
When it's out, like out.
It's pretty out. Jackson. No. Sorry about that. One sec. I'll sort that out.
You're good. I'm gonna step away for just like 2 seconds. Be right back. Trying to figure out my audio.
Have you got anything you want to say, Jax? Well, Vex isn't here. Anything you want to say? Okay. Thank God. Yeah, oh, he wants to say, dude.
Take the time to say, everybody, please make sure you have subscribed to the Last Arc Theory channel. On the regular.
Yeah, sorry about the background noise. I'll get that sorted real soon. But yeah, make sure to hit up the new channel. Make sure to hit up Vex's channel. He's just done his first stream. We'll plug more stuff shamelessly in a bit when we're in the heat of things. But yeah, in 1 second, when I do get Jack, like the kids sorted, I've got the questions ready. I'm gonna fire some, and we can fire some to the couple people that are in the chat at the moment if you want, just to like keep us company and them. Lucas is going to be dropping in any minute. Okay, cool. So, what we got? We've got the hardest question of all. Who is the swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirates?
Is that Roranora Zolo? Is that?
No, that's incorrect. That's incorrect.
That's gotta be it. I swear I heard that somewhere.
No. You're out in the first round, dude. Don't know how we're going to carry on. It was designed to be easy. Right, Jax. Come on now.
Just trying to get this echo situated. My headset's being terrible right now. So sorry, guys.
If there's an echo coming through the Discord, then that's just the channels, yeah. So, okay, I think I can start these questions while you're trying to concentrate. I'll distract you. Where does Whitebeard hide his treasure?
Sorry, I was completely distracted. Is this a trick question? It's not on Sphinx.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll give you some Sphinx, and I'll give you some for trick question because of his mysterious unknown treasure that Bussy Stussy wants. The inheritance. Right. So, what is Van der Deck and the Knight's ship?
The Flying Dutchman. Am I answering, or are you asking Chad? I'm so sorry. I didn't know the parameters here.
No, that's incorrect. That's also incorrect. That's too. No, I'm joking. Okay, so you're good. You're winning right now. Now we've got. Oh, this one's a nice one. What's Buggy's ship called?
Big Top.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't have that.
Oh my God! Let me sort this kid out. Hold the fort.
Oh my goodness. Chat, what do you guys think was the most stylish mode of transportation for the Straw Hats, and tell me why it's brown beard. It's or Onigashima. That was pretty styling, I'm not gonna lie. Is my audio any better at this point in time? Also, if you guys could let me know, that would be dope. I need like a real headset. But we we should be having Straw Hat Lucas joining us shortly, and that will be where all of the energy for this stream is going to be coming from. But
Oh my days, I'm in like Flynn. Okay, I think it's time. I think it is time. All right, maybe I should step up the difficulty a bit and go off the script.
bring it on.
Okay. How did Carmel get into Elbath? Like, what was the method that she used to win them over?
Didn't she like free giants from like slavery or something? I don't
Yeah,
know.
ding. That's a point. That's a point. And for a bonus point,
Ding 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 ding.
who was the first giant recruited to the Navy?
It's that boy John.
Yeah, Mr. John Locke.
That boy John.
Okie dokie.
John D. Stick.
Okay, we're warming up. We're warming up. Don't blaspheme in the chat.
He said blaspheme.
Okay, right. Okay, so let's step it up a little bit, and let me know if the dudes in chat they get some of these because they are nerds as well. What number Straw Hat? Which Straw Hat was the seventh to be recruited?
This is a trick question. Like it's always a trick question. So like, do you count Luffy as part of the crew? Like,
I'm gonna say no because it was the seventh to be recruited.
okay, so seven.
And Luffy doesn't really recruit himself.
We have like Zoro, Usopp, Sanji, Nami in that order. No question about that. Then we have Chopper, and then Robin, and seventh would be Frankie.
Nice, nicely done.
Yeah,
Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. Right, let's go a bit hotter then. Let's go a bit warmer.
Show once or twice.
What creature is known to defend Greenbit?
The fighting fish.
That's correct. Ding, 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 ding,
These
ding.
boys, they've been there for about 200 years, holding it down.
You get another point for the color of their eyes.
Is it red? I don't know.
And
Is it two colors?
yeah. Smokey can't jump in, but we'll bring him in later anyway. We'll convince him anyway. But yeah, so it's yellow and red, or a gold and red.
I'm so frustrated.
You can redeem the fumble if you can tell me what animal them eyes come from.
Goldfish.
Fighting lion.
I think that's
You fumbled the bag.
I think that's
Fumbled the bag.
Have you ever seen a goldfish?
I've got one. Well, Barry.
He said I've got one.
It's true. It's true.
He's just doing the little dance and hopping in and hopping out, or what's up?
No. He said he's busy, so that means we'll have to put a little pressure on him, threaten his family. Definitely, that's not on TOS, but okay. Next question, quickly. So basically, name two frozen giants.
Could I just do Scotch and Rock, like the Yeti
Yep.
Cobras? Like
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
they're pretty frozen.
Now name me two giants that have been frozen that aren't related.
We've got Oars and San Juan Wolf.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
I need to specify
All right,
which
then.
Oars? Is that how?
No. I thought about it and I was like, no, I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So my next one is how many layers are there to impel down?
So technically 7, right? Because there's 5.5 and 6, which we didn't actually know about. So I mean, like if you're gonna ask me like gun to my head, I'm gonna say seven. But if we're like just being sly, obviously like five.
Well, it would be yeah. I would have taken 6.5 or 7.
Yeah, if we're trying to like
Um,
not get caught by the big wigs, I'm gonna say like five. What are you talking about? You crazy? But
hmm
no,
hmm
if we're really in the know, there's seven.
Okay, cool. When was Alabasta made or established?
What, like an island, like as like or as a
No,
kingdom?
no. Sorry, the palace.
This had to be. It was sometime in between like 4,000 and 5,000 years ago, because Robin was talking about the temple at Alubarna. I just don't remember the full year.
Okay,
Shit.
this guy
Four
thinks he's on
thousand
it.
five
All
hundred
right.
and sixty-two years ago. I don't
Okay, cool. Right. Let me see how hard we can crank this up then.
know.
Okie dokie. What is Tashi's onomatopoeia?
Tashi's what? Oh, for her laugh? I have no clue actually.
Tora. Which is an onomatopoeia for what number?
I didn't even hear it. What was it?
Torah.
Torah is a little religious. I don't know.
Strong. Yeah, touche. 16.
No way. Is that really? Is that true?
Yeah. So when's her birthday?
Wow. Okay, so I don't know. Like, I don't think that like so a lot of the birthdays Oda didn't even make up. People were just like in the SBS, like, hey, can this be somebody's birthday? And Oda was like, sure.
Well,
So
I've given you the answer already.
was it like January 16th?
No, it's October the 6th.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, okay. I don't like it. I don't. This is
Savage.
trickery, shenanigans.
Wow, man. Well, you're lucky. Yeah, lucky. There's no other contestants. Um.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, let's go again. Let's go again.
Yeah, no contest. Like, I could grill you on something.
You can try, like with your
What
chess skills.
what is this has fooled so many people in the past. What is the combination for the lock on the fridge of the sign? No Google. I hear you.
Yeah, I know this already. It's um, is it Robin's birthday and Nami's birthday?
That
Do they
is
count as answers? Is that
that is correct, but it's not an acceptable answer. I need numbers, bro. I need the numbers, the hard numbers.
um? They are some hard numbers. 1952.
No.
Oh, it was a guess. Go on. What is it?
It's a 7326, apparently.
326. Okay, cool. I won't forget it again. Try me later.
Let's see. Another interesting one is no, I think you've heard me talk about this. Name me two confirmed living biological mothers in One Piece. So confirmed alive and
What?
biological
And
mothers.
and like today, when you say alive, you mean like to this present day?
Yes, like spoilers. No, but yeah, like I don't know, like I haven't read any of the spoilers for the new one, but yeah, like as far as up to 10, 89, we know for a fact and can confirm that they are still living, and that they are biological mothers of.
Okay, so the biological thing, like I think that's a little bit of a nod towards Buckingham, right?
Well, so we can't say
She
the
can't.
Dan, and we can't can't say because there's still it's not confirmed, but like we know for a fact that there are two living biological mothers of like that are.
There is only two.
Is there only two?
Okay, let me think. Who did I just say a second ago?
You said Stussy, like the OG Miss Baki, but
Yeah.
like because it's not confirmed.
Okay, cool. So we need super confirmed. I did have another one as well. I think it was with Wobbly though.
I know two. If you can think of two, that's a pass.
I'm thinking of the old granny, in Caribou's cover story. She's the mother of Garbaru. Is that correct?
Oh my god, I don't even remember that. That's I might even give you that one, but I don't know. I'll have to dig up
cool.
like chat.
So now I just make up another elaborate
figure that
one. Okay, and one more. Confirmed. And I'm guessing like there has to be someone who's named. It can't just be some dead off thing. Oh, Big Mum. That's easy, Big Mum.
Not confirmed alive.
No. What is this bullshit? I got it wrong.
I'm absolutely gonna make sure that.
Okay, cool. Let me think.
I mean, I could give hints, I guess, right? Like, am I in the business of giving out charity? Like,
Definitely not. Definitely. I don't want it. I do not want it. I do want it. I don't want it. Okay, cool. Let me think. Last. Give me 60 more seconds and I'll get this bugger.
Yeah, you just Google up
Oh,
as much as you need.
Suru.
Okay, so that's like a weak answer. Like we know she has a great. But we
You'll
don't-
say that like Big Mom.
We haven't seen her daughter, so this could be like an adoptive situation, right?
I mean, what are you trying to say, dude? Like, is that something you really want to get into right now?
I'm saying that there are people we don't have to be so pedantic about. They're just it's.
I think you should probably hand me the points and move on with the stream before
Okay,
it
so
gets
I'll
cancelled.
go ahead and hand you I'll give you 1.5 points because you gave me 1.5.
Oh my
for
God.
Answers, but then like chiffon.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's annoying.
Little baby Pez is confirmed to be her biological child. Chiffon.
Oh, I could have gone. Yeah, we could have gone for
There is Makino.
Yeah, Makino. Yeah. Pete.
So those are the two answers.
Yeah.
I was looking
That one hurts.
I don't know. Have you got
I think
another?
we've been joined by. Wait, is it down to? Do I need to fire something you now? Because after that, I'm just gonna go in.
I think we could open the floor up to the main man over here, the Mugi warrior, Lucas.
I see who's he rolling with. Here he is.
Mookie! So, hello audience. I am sorry I am late, y'all. Your boy works third shift and slept until 1:08 when he had a stream at 1 p.m. So, what is the topic of discussion at the moment? 1071, I presume.
We're actually no. Funnily enough, we're actually talking about your favorite topic. No guesses? I was expecting like a big guess, or you to know it. We're talking about mums.
Big Mum?
All of them. We're trying to think if only if they're alive.
Like all of them is a very generous term. We've only come up with like about 2 or 3. Like.
Are you talking about like moms in One Piece?
Yeah. Like how
Yeah,
many,
yeah.
How many can you name? Like and so like we're talking about like biological mothers here, but we just went.
Machina.
Why bring that up, man? Again, what's with this agenda?
So I mean, anyone can say like Kureha's like Chopper's mom, and like Dan is like Luffy's
Oh,
mom
come
and
on,
stuff
that
like that.
is.
But like, no, I'm looking for like we're
I
peeling
can I
through
can
it.
hear the fear.
We're peeling through it right now. He said Makino. That's a great. Yes, that is exactly.
Makino.
Yeah, that's the
We got
correct.
Sora. We
Okay,
got
but she's dead.
Olvia.
Okay,
We
but she's
Oh
got
wow.
Big Mom is obviously a biological mom to like 100 kids.
But she's not confirmed alive though. Is another thing. Like,
That is true.
Yeah, so all three of them just went straight down the pipe, unfortunately.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay. I might have one. Um,
I just
I
can't
might
believe
have
so
one.
so many people sleep on chiffon. Like, come on, y'all.
I know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
am annoyed I missed that one. Not as much as Makina.
No, I've been saying it though. Little Pez is the future. Like, if there's gonna be two pieces, not following Goofy, it's following Pez. Like, that kid has more than the rest of the world. He's got a non-deadbeat father.
Okay.
And a living biological mother. Like, name one other character with those credentials. You can't. You literally can't.
No, you can't.
I got one for you. I got one for you. Right. So, in I think it's 84, 1084. We're showing a flashback of what character from history? Nice and easy.
You said you said in chapter 1084 we're shown a character from history.
Yeah, flashback. Super significant. A silhouette of.
History.
Lily.
Yeah, right. And now that's just the appetizer. Now, out of the whole silhouette, what don't we see?
Eyes.
Nope.
Nose.
No.
I don't know. I'm just going for facial features at this point.
We don't see what she's wearing on her head. The crown's covered
That is correct. Wow.
by a speech bubble.
Very sneaky there. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Wild. Lucas, have you got any trivia you wanted to shoot to the to the room real quick?
Kind of. Do you guys know who's been laying down all of these beautiful, beautiful impact frames in One Piece lately?
No. I have
No.
idea.
Let me look up his name. I know it's Vincent something, but I want to make sure it's correct. It is an
It's Vincent
American.
Van Gogh. Vincent Van Gogh has come back from the dead.
Holy crap!
No, he
Vincent
said-
Van Gogh has come back from the dead.
He
No,
said
it is.
Vincent
It is.
something. That's clearly a different last name. Like,
It's
something.
Oh, okay,
Vincent Chancellor. He is
Yeah,
an
it's just the
American.
language.
He's an
Chancellor,
American.
Vincent Chancellor, that sounds familiar.
He's an American animator. And that boy flew to Japan and just started wrecking everything.
Oh, the young dude. Yeah. I do know who you're talking about. Yeah. He looks quite young, right?
Yeah, he is very young. I just think it is wild that an American animator, he's one of the first to work for Toei Animation as well. And he's doing such
You're going to
a-
be the second, Lucas.
What?
You're going to be the second.
Yay! They need my time.
Yeah. You don't know, but yeah, TLA's sending you on a journey.
To segue a bit, about those beautiful impact frames and things like that. Like, yeah, if you guys had like one moment about throughout 1071 that would have been your favorite, like.
When Luffy moonwalks in the air. When he goes, if you don't know what I'm referring to, when he goes to pull up the ground to shoot the Bolo Blast back at Kaido, he there's these maybe 36 frames of him just moonwalking in the air, and it is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, the moon
I was a big fan of.
walk's pretty good. Mine's unashamedly the Gear 5 butt thing. Yes.
The
Say
what?
again?
Yeah, like if I were to pick like one specific scene, I think it would be like Kaido's eyes popping out while he was in his dragon form, just literally like slayed me. I was dead.
Yeah.
And,
The
and
smiley
the
face in the
noise-
belly, pretty cool as well.
the noise he made when his eyes popped out, that like fucking, like he was Scooby Doo or something. All week though, I've been running around the house and flexing at my wife and kids and going, Mookie, 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 Mookie. Ugh. Did either of you?
It was really cool.
Did either?
Yeah,
of you have
the
any
Gear
trouble-
5 bit as well. Sorry, man. You
Yeah,
carry
the
on,
whole the whole Gear 5 thing was amazing. But did any of you guys have any problems with the way the episode was handled by Toy?
Did we have any problems?
There were people who did. I'm not one of them, but I can respect that some people were saying that some of the animation was a little bit. They did recycle like one specific like animation like I think 3 times, but I mean I'm not gonna sit here and nitpick because I've been watching One Piece the entire like not the entire time, but like I've watched all of One Piece, and this the amount of consistent quality that we've been getting that we don't get from seasonals still. I think that it more than makes up for like those little tiny gripes. Like I thought it was phenomenal.
Yeah, man.
I don't put it at my top 1, but I definitely put it very, very, very high as far as episodes go. Right.
The people who don't like the people that were complaining about that stuff, they're probably gonna hate the live action because like that shit is gonna have to be taken with a ton of salt to like get into the swing and to the vibe of it. So yeah, I feel for some people because they're not going to be able to get the most out of it.
I got some crazy stuff to talk about with the live action, but we'll get into that later. I've seen the dumbest argument I've seen about episode 1071 is the Hiyori shit. I've seen so many people upset with that Hiyori scene in there, not realizing the parallels of the awakening of Joy Boy with the drums of liberation, and Hiyori liberating herself from Orochi.
And the Kazuki, yeah.
Yeah, and the
like
Kazuki.
it's the moon.
I did
The
a
moon
whole
is eaten,
I did a
and the
whole
sun's
TikTok,
born.
grabbed volume 103, pulled out chapter 1044,
I'll switch it.
showed everybody like that stuff was in chapter 1044. But we actually did a really good job of sticking to chapter 1044, like when it comes to beat for beat adapting the chapter. Because usually they'll throw this in here from chapter like the one before or the one after, that kind of thing. But they stuck to 1044 pretty well, except for the flashbacks of things that happened 2 episodes ago. But that's on par for Toy. And like Vex said, I've watched all of the anime. That doesn't bother me anymore. I'm so used to the pacing problems that they're just there. So, out of all the Straw Hats reactions to Luffy being alive, which one do you guys think was like the most impactful? Nami?
Yeah, I think that was like just a moment because like I don't know, like I felt the heft of that like almost as much as like I felt like the like the hat scene like back in Arlong Park. Like it took me back there a little bit.
All right, yeah, I see that. I see that. For some reason, because the Nami and oh my goodness, why can I not remember that little girl's name? Oh, I feel like a fool. Anyway, their scene together, that got me, yeah, but for some reason, Chopper screaming out, "Is that Luffy?" hit me so hard. Like, because he's just a kid. He's just a boy.
He's like
And my boy
16,
was
right?
sad. What's that?
Chopper's like 16, right? He's like
I think
He's
I want to say
17 at the moment, I think.
okay. I thought it was like 14 for some reason.
Yeah, 17 at the moment, I think 15 pre, but that's the thing. Sorry about the mute up, but yeah, like you were talking about it in the actual episode, right? Like the Nami stuff is mad, like super emotional. Like OP's never really been like, never been like that scene. It's obviously always had emotion in, but it isn't often like that. So when it hits so hard. You know what I mean?
I even found myself like when it comes to the emotional moments of 1071, like I got emotional with Hiyori. Her telling Orochi that he's like an insolent man and to hold his tongue and stuff. I was getting fucking vibey with it. Good times, boys. Good times.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, it was like, I don't know. It's felt a bit strange about the scene. Like it's a super important scene. Like I watched Tekken's stream after that chapter came out, and like he was like real focused and highlighting it, and I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty super important. And over time, I realized like how important it is. But still, it is a bit weird. Like the whole Umibozu or whatever it's called that like comes and sets fire to Orochi. That's like, I don't get that yet. I need that. I need to see more of that.
Oh, goodness. Orochi-sama. That's probably the other thing I've been quoting the most from the episode. Besides Mookie Mookie Mookie.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with my audio. Chat keeps saying I'm low, but I cannot figure it out, guys. Sorry about that.
You're beautiful, sexy Dexy, don't you worry.
I mean, I'm alright. I woke up like this, like
Hey, same.
it's insane. But no,
Just a bit of hyperbole, or not really hyperbole, just a little anecdote for you guys to realize how I started my day. Have you ever had like one of those dreams that seemed so realistic you thought it was real?
oh yeah,
I dreamt
all the time.
I dreamt that I messaged the Last Arcs group chat and said, hey, I'm tired as hell. I'm going to be a little bit late. I did not do that. So when Dindin was like, hey, yeah, we're live, brother. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm on my way. It was a good day. It's a good day.
That was Vex said to you like signals through your sleep, like get the fuck up, basically. You like, oh, I might be a little late, and us going, no, you're not going to be a little late.
No, we're not doing that. Yeah, like. But no, I mean,
Not this
lit a
day.
fire on my ass for sure.
That's cool. Yeah, spicy. I like it's. I don't know, like there was so much hype there, and like as it got closer to the episode, I was like getting a bit like not burnt out, but I was like, oh, you know what, like yeah, like I've seen too much promo at this point. Then when it came and we watched it together, because we waited a couple hours so we could watch it with Vex and stuff, and it was nuts, like to do together. It was sick. Real glad we did it. And now no one's really talking about it, and everyone's like, well, yeah, good. So I mean, it's blessed for us because we've had that. Now we get Egghead, then we get the live action. So we're eating good, and yeah, it's just been an all-round cool month. Like,
Just gonna throw it out there to anyone in chat. Join us on the Discord tonight because we'll probably do a group call for 1072 as well. Just because, let's be real, this is gonna be the real Gear 5 episode. One thing I kept pointing out to people is that 1044 and 1071 are not like they are the introduction to Gear 5, but they are not the meat of Gear 5. Tonight is when it goes down. We're gonna get so much. I'm not gonna say a bunch just in case.
1071's the reveal, right? That's kind of what I meant about all the hype. Like, it's like that's the reveal, and like obviously as manga readers, like it's like yeah, that's cool. But like yeah, now seeing it tonight, or early hours of this morning, it's gonna be absolute banging. Like this is where it's gonna be like legit, and hopefully like. Even when the hype dies down, if it ever does, like this stuff will just sustain, like, and continue because, obviously, one thing that is pretty insane is within the past 18 months we've gone from a series that people like the anime was like a joke, right, and stuff like that, and now it's like not just taken seriously. It's like it's everywhere. So yeah, hype burgers. Let's go.
Hyde burgers.
Hmm.
Mm. Mm.
Oh,
Spoiler warning, in case any anime only fans are in the chat, I am going to be mentioning a part of what will be 1072, and the others will as well, because I'm about to ask them, what moment in that Kaido fight are you guys most excited to see?
Jump rope.
oof.
Jump rope.
That's
Like
it.
honestly, like I'm a Guernica fan, so I just wanted to, even though it sucked to see him get slammed, I wanted to see that scene. Particularly as what it meant with like Higurashi and stuff like that. It's like a flash. There was a scene years ago in the very same similar situation. So yeah, like that was kind of my feed. But now, I mean, other than the jump rope and stuff like that, is there anything like particular? I want to see him put his hand through his head. That's gonna be like weird, real weird.
Oh, are you talking about an
And
egg?
no, no, no. I mean with Kaido and like.
Oh yeah. Where you like?
Also, I want to see him run over the water. Like, I want to
Yeah.
see him run over the sea. Water.
No, I thought it was
Whoa.
like I never really watched the this is what we'll see next time, like episodes like that, the post credits, like stay tuned bits, but like like tune, pun intended, but like a like a specifically I thought like the little tiny fraction of a second of it that I did see was like Luffy's face getting bent around like the spikes of like Kaido's combo when he hits him with the Bagua. I need that looked so amazing. I was dying laughing for that.
See, that's what I am most excited for. That, and then when Kaido swallows him, and then Luffy pulls himself out through Kaido's eyes. I need that to happen.
All of that like over the top stuff that when I was reading I was like, oh, like now I'm like, yes, this is gonna be so sick. Like just seeing it all in its proper style and done properly is like
I caught up to the manga right before the end of that fight. So when I caught up, it was like the middle of the Gear 5 battle, like the first Gear 5 battle. So seeing it now, like animated, is just so mind-blowing to me. And I agree with Vex, though. The jump rope moment is the one that the whole fan base has definitely been hyping up the most because it's
anticipating, yeah, for sure.
And then, but in order to do the jump rope, we need to see Luffy pull off a certain Gum Gum feat. And that is Gummo Gummo no Giganto. And I'm so excited to see how he does that in the anime.
Yeah, it's going to be a long scene. Like they're going to draw it out with the weather and stuff like that. But yeah, it's going to be hype. It's going to be hype.
Catching the lightning.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be insane.
And like throwing it down and stuff like so sick.
No, but like how long do you think they're gonna try to, again pun intended, like stretch this fight out to in the anime, like versus the manga?
From what I've heard, it's 8 episodes, including 1071. So up to 1078, 1079 is when the fight will officially end.
I'm cool with that. Like that like it might seem a lot, but like it's a big fight.
Yeah. And it's a showcase of Luffy's Gear 5th, which, I mean, after this, once again, spoiler warning in case there are any anime onlys, it's not that long of a time until we see Gear 5th again. On Egg.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, the whole, like, with the whole pace, it goes up, obviously, but, like, in that particular instance, we're seeing not just G5, but we're seeing, like, kind of like a counterpart to it almost as well, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. The person he's facing is also awakened. I forgot that.
Yeah. The first of its kind that we see.
Well, I mean, we can suspect they're going to throw in a little filler in there. In between, like we're not just gonna get straight into that, I'm
not sure. Maybe the way, like after what we just seen, yeah, maybe you're right. That sucks,
You know what, though?
but yeah.
No, let me tell you why it would be a good idea for Toei to do a whole filler arc, like 20 episode filler arc after Wano. One, Wano was.
I mean, why not like let him get to Elbaf, throw it in there, like or like in between. Yeah, not Elbaf, sorry, Egghead, just before Egghead. It would fit perfectly.
Yeah, because and we're gonna get into this more later when we're talking 1089, 1090. But like Egghead is a huge arc, guys. Like it has some of the biggest revelations in the entire series so far. It has given us some of the meatiest meat that we've seen in One Piece, and not
Big meat,
only
yeah, no doubt.
not only would a filler give Oda a chance to finish Egghead properly, it also gives Toei a little bit more time to properly pace Egghead, because its pacing has to be nailed in the anime for the delivery of it to work perfectly.
Yeah, man. It's like Wano, right? Who doesn't want to be there? Spend a couple episodes there afterwards with like some comedy, like nice vibes in Wano. Like it's a beautiful place, you know.
Flesh
Make
out.
use of it while you're there.
Give us a filler arc of fleshing out why Yamato's staying in Wano. Just give us a couple more episodes on that and expand on why he ends up staying in Wano. Like it's something as simple as that, or give us a little bit more time with Green Bull or anything like that at the end of Wano, and
yeah, like spend an extra episode with the scabbards.
I would honestly be happy with pretty much anything that we would get, like because One Piece filler is, in my opinion, it's not the worst that I've ever seen. Like all the movie promo filler was like all right, I guess, and things like that. But like I don't know, seeing just like some of the things that are unrelated to the Straw Hats happening around the world, like what the hell has Smoker been doing? If we just got like a little Smoker filler arc or something, like I think that would be interesting. Like.
Yeah,
or
it's true.
Giving us maybe the cover story that went on during Wano that we haven't seen in the anime yet.
That would be really great, and it would make sense, seeing as this is like the only like legitimately like self-referential like cover story within the chapter itself proper, right? Like
exactly. And plus, I ain't gonna lie, I want to see those two storm Whole Cake Island.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the whole Hiyori thing and the focus that it got, and some people didn't like the glow up. And one of the things that was like omitted from the end of Wano, by the seems of it, is Hiyori reuniting with Momo, and to see that like and have it like all of it, rather than throwing filler, just flesh it all out, like thicken the edges out of all of it, and that will give you tons of extra episodes, because there was so much that was just skimmed over. And I know loads of it's going to be revealed later on, blah blah blah, but there's just stuff that would be nice to do when they're there.
Or even seeing more of the the Scabbards' reactions to adult Momonosuke, seeing the Scabbards bury Izo and oh my goodness, why can I not remember his name? Probably because a million characters got introduced in Wano. The other guy that died.
Shiradoji.
Shiradoji, thank you.
Yeah.
Like seeing them bury them, because like I remember reading.
Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah.
Yeah, and reading Marineford, they spend like maybe 2-3 pages on Ace and Whitebeard's like burial site, but in the anime it's like a whole like 10-minute section, and it feels so much more impactful seeing Shanks help the Whitebeard pirates bury them than reading, in my opinion. So,
I definitely like the saddest part of that whole funeral was the fact that there was like no funeral. So yeah, like I'm completely down for that as well. Like all of this is what I mean. Like it's such a sick like self-encompassed arc. Like just spend the time fleshing it, like just buffing the edges and like make this like beautiful end to like the last scene, of Wano. It would just be perfect. Like nice way to finish it off.
Did we even get like Kiku's reaction to her brother being dead? Like
really briefly. I think it was one panel.
They could expand on that.
I think Kiku was like, "Oh, so sad." That was it.
Oh, I'm so sad. Okay.
So sad. I'm off.
So
I
Seth,
think
gonna take a
that I would also really like more time talking to Sukiyaki specifically,
yes.
because like that
Ooh.
Law and Robin
Ooh.
scene is huge, and it was
Oh,
literally
I
like,
forgot about that. Oh
yeah,
my goodness, yeah. They're gonna show old Wano. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.
yeah. Let's get like a little Jack flashback to little baby fishman Jack figuring that whole shebang out for the fish for the Beast Kingdom pirates. You know, like I don't know. I think they can do a lot with stretching that out as well.
Yeah, showing Jack and his lawn care routines. That's canon.
Oh my
That is
god.
his favorite thing to do is mow lawns.
But I think that would be like that scene alone. It was like a panel and a half. Like that could be a full episode. You know what I mean? Like I
Oh
think
yeah.
because especially with like how close they could get if they do blow through this to where the manga is right now. I just think that they're going to stretch it out like in the true
Yeah.
toy fashion. And try to get as
Well,
much of a gap in between production as possible here.
and that would be the smart move.
Yeah, I think
Really.
it's partially orchestrated, like how like we've seen where significant anime episodes that have features of prominent figures like the Gorosei, those line up with chapters that also feature the Gorosei. So that when
Yes.
Gorosei is trending, anime onlys don't necessarily know that that's a manga thing. It's like a little bit of like a pulling the wool over kind of thing. And I think that they're very clever because Oda doesn't have the full say with everything anime related, but he's got pull. Obviously, he has creative
Yeah.
influence and things, but like he absolutely has the full say over things manga related. And I think that they've been doing a little bit of a dance, like a delicate dance, in kind of keeping some of those weekly, release themes tied when it comes to the anime and the manga. I think they've been doing that.
I agree. And all it takes is doing an hour-long park walk or something even small like that, where it's an anime-only thing, but it kind of pads it out. And I think we're all in agreement here that that's the best move before going into Egghead. Because once it goes into Egghead, the story's gonna pop off. Like if people think One Piece is hype now, they haven't been reading One Piece.
Yeah. No, I mean I'm super excited for obviously the end of Luffy Kaido is gonna be amazing and whatnot, but like really I'm just excited for the Fire Festival to be done with, so they don't keep using the exact same like 2-second clip of the same guy banging the same drum, like you know what I mean? Like
The same lady, fucking
Yeah.
playing the same shamisen, like.
No, it's just like so funny to me every time I see that. I'm just like, here we go. But no major gripes about the anime. I think that with the consistent level that they keep pushing things out, like I absolutely love it. I do understand that a lot of people have voiced concerns or like and some of it is just people who aren't even fans. Like it's a lot of people who haven't watched all of One Piece the way that most of us have, and who just popped in just to throw shade, which I'm not gonna entertain those those arguments, but
Oh.
there are legitimate arguments as far as some things that the anime might do a little I don't know. For me, you brought it up earlier with the whole Hiyori Orochi scene. I thought it was perfection, because I needed to see this dude burn. Like I needed it, and it was panel for panel. Like they didn't, try to cut it up and do it like their own way, which some people might be a little bit upset about. But I mean, like it was literally the way that it was written in the manga.
Yeah.
It was clever as well because we didn't get the lyrics, and like I remember writing a video at one point. I was like desperately trying to find the lyrics to the song, but we haven't been shown it in the episode. They didn't show it either, and I was like, this is clever.
This
Like,
is clever.
Yeah.
Moon
To do
Princess.
with music. Yeah.
Emu confirmed.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
Moon.
Okay.
Moon confirmed.
Mm.
Before we move on to all the spicy egghead stuff, guys, if you're comfortable with that, I need to know what moment from the current arc are you guys most excited to see in the anime?
Ooh.
I need to see Green Bull shit his pants. Like that's like a. If you're talking about like the current anime arc, is that what you're talking, or are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about Egghead.
Oh, just the drip, like the lady drip.
Whoa.
Robin and Nami.
Hey, it's Stussy. Don't
Yeah.
Stussy.
Can't throw shade on Stussy. What about you,
Yeah,
Dinton?
dude, it's got to be like it's an easy one, like Lucci for sure, like way for sure, for super sure for sure. Like seeing all that happen and all that interaction, and also seeing the sea, like them in the sea with the mechs, is gonna be nuts.
Just because I'm rereading Egghead right now, and I just got back to this part, I cannot wait to see Robin finding out about Soul in the anime.
Oh man, yeah, that's gonna be killer.
I've teared up. I'm on my third read of Egghead right now. I last reread it right before all the Sabo stuff at the Reverie, and every time I
I
read
mean,
those panels, I tear up, man.
the Garb Kuza stuff is like, yeah, can't be understated either.
Exactly.
I mean, so
Exactly.
for me, one of the most like visceral reactions I think I've ever had to a panel in One Piece when I was like, hey, wait, am I reading the right manga? Like, you know, was specifically the Shaka scene.
Oh my God! Right?
It was insane. Like, and I think
What?
that yeah,
Which one? The one where he's pressing buttons, or the one where he's pressing buttons?
I think he's talking about the one where he gets spoilered in the head.
yeah, the one where he gets his own
Okay.
button pressed. You know, like a,
Yeah.
when the button gets pressed against him, my man.
Yeah. He pressed the wrong button. Like,
I
No,
will
but
say,
like, legitimately, I think that was like, I was absolutely, like, I was like, wait, is this blood? Is this like, is like, what is like, cause like, what Oda doesn't do those types of panel work, you know, like that as far as what I've read and what I've seen. I know that the manga has a little bit more of the bloody bits than the anime
yeah, it did
does.
go all berserk on it. Like,
But it was absolutely like I was like, whoa, this is in Weekly Shonen. Like, what's going on? Like, like
the
it was like
helmet
some,
shattering.
yeah, it was like some
from the
Chainsaw
black,
Man, like berserk, like you know, like style.
Visceral.
Yeah, it was some almost like body horror, and like, I don't even know if that guy's a robot or not, but like it was it legitimately like almost like it jolted me. I was shook for a little bit, and so I think
Yeah,
the
I was flabbergasted when that scene dropped. I was flabbergasted, and it's like literally the second to last panel too.
yeah, and so I really like, and the suspense building up to it and everything like that, and like there were a lot of theories flying around for people who were like trying to figure out like who's the traitor, what's going on here in this, and what's going on with that, and like there was a prevalent theory that Shaka was the traitor, and then for him to get like done in like that, I was just like, oh wow. So this is just this is all kinds of. The panel sent so many messages, just with one panel, and I think that the anime could really deliver on that. You know what I mean? In that same aspect.
I think you're right. I just realized though, I am not ready for all of the Cobra stuff. I'm not ready to watch that because it hit me emotionally reading it. So seeing it is gonna mess me up. Like, oh goodness, Egghead's spicy, y'all.
No, for real. The law stuff is gonna destroy me.
Oh yeah, but seeing Beppo go full on beast mode is gonna be insane.
Yeah, but I mean, at what cost?
Yeah.
The law stuff is absolutely gonna crush me. Like it was wild. But yeah, I'm super excited to see so many moments of the coming arc. You know, like animated and like. But what I was most excited for recently, obviously, there is 1071 hype and 1072 hype and things like that. But when I first caught up was right when this was happening in the manga, a little over a year and a half ago, and I was so hyped to see the Grim Reaper scene.
They delivered, man.
It really did deliver, and we got a little bit of a revisit to it, and then which was like something we didn't get. Like we didn't get a second panel of that, and so I'm hoping we do expand on that some more as well, maybe. But
yes.
I don't know. I doubt it, but that would be crazy. But I don't know. That was like one of the scenes that I was looking forward to the absolute most out of what we've gotten recently in Wano. But as far as Egghead, yeah, there's just so many things that I need to see, and I can't wait for that.
When I was catching up with Wano in the manga, all I could think about was animated for Gear 5. That's all I want to see from this that is going to be animated. And then, but Egghead, there's so many moments where I'm like, oh, this is going to hurt people in the anime. This is going to, or with the Shaka thing, this is going to leave people flabbergasted. This is going to, it is wild how much is going on in Egghead. And that is the perfect segue to talk about the last 2 chapters of One Piece, 1089, which I believe is, what was the title again? It's not Siege Barricade. That was the fan translation title. Now I'm trying to think of it. And 1090.
Under Siege.
Under Siege is the fan translation. It's something completely different in the officials. I could tell you though. I have it written down, Lucas, you idiot. Oh, maybe it was Under Siege. No, Hostage Situation. There we go. 1089, Hostage Situation, and 1090, Admiral Kizaru. So, Hostage Situation was one of the wildest chapters I've ever read. We got to see Whoop Slap again, which is always a good time for me because I love his name. Who do you guys think Makido's baby daddy is?
Do you want the spiciest take on that?
I do.
Shanks. Don't listen to him, Shanks.
That's so vanilla, right? Like, I don't know. If we're going for like the spiciest take, what if it is Outlook?
Nah, I'll tell you who it is, man. Spiciest take. Lucky Roo.
Oh man, you think Lucky did it like that?
Listen. She obviously got married to one of the redhead pirates. Like, I'm just saying, Lucky Roo's got the game, and we know he keep the strap.
No, but I mean, so I don't know. I can see that, but she specifically said Big Bro Luffy, which made me think like, okay, so there has to be some tie-in here. Like, what if it's I was like, what if it's like Dragon? And she knows, but Luffy didn't, and she kept it for. And what if that actually is like Luffy's like biological little brother?
I would shit my pants.
But
I would literally.
It could just be Outlook, like Sabo's dad, before he passed.
Ooh, like went down to the village and had himself some little peasant action, is what you're thinking?
Bro.
Like, he saw her and was like, oh, my little barmaid.
Or maybe even Stelly. Like, I don't know. We just don't know enough people from Goa Kingdom to really because Fuchsia Village and Dawn Island is it's part of the Goa Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we just don't know enough people who have interacted in those specific waters for us to really have more than 5 people to guess from, right?
Yeah, but if you ever suggest that Stelly has had sex with anyone again, it'll be fist, bro.
Bro. I mean, it could have been Buggy, from half an ocean away even. He could have just popped that thing on off and had it fly over there. But...
He threw it at her like an octopus. Oh my goodness. I won't lie though, the beginning of 1089, the best part of that whole thing for me was Dadan openly getting emotional because like she's a hard ass, obviously, likes to hide her true feelings, but her just sobbing while reading the paper and asking what Luffy and Garp are up to, it hit me so hard, man. I love Dadan. She's the best mom in all of One Piece. Like, let's be real.
Major shout out to SSJ8 Cody in the chat who said no, it's Yasop, and he wanted to care about the cooler kid. Like that is so that is savage, bro.
Listen, that is a moment I'm also not prepared for. Is Yasop and Usopp meeting? We got a bit of it in Film Red, and sorry if I just spoiled some Film Red for you, but it's been a year and a half. Watch the fucking movie already. No.
No, but the thing is Yasop isn't ready for it. He literally was just like, God, Usopp? Like, he doesn't feel worthy to meet his own son right now, which is hilarious to me. Like,
I know. Here Usopp was at the beginning of the series being like, my dad's one of the greatest pirates ever, and now Usopp is himself one of the greatest pirates.
no, and like, so we don't know enough of the Red Hair's bounties, right? But we do know that they have the highest cumulative bounty. So
Yes.
Yasop is sitting with a pretty decent bounty. Like, what are the odds that it's above Usopp's right now, which is 500 million, right?
I think it's more than that. I thought it was like 800, wasn't it?
No, he has 500 million as his.
Okay.
Because that was what it was
Yeah, you're
when
right.
Doflamingo placed 5 stars on him in Dressrosa, and then post Wano it came true or whatever. So
Yeah. That's ooh. I
Yeah,
mean, there's
like-
a chance for sure that it's higher, but let's be real. After the Egghead Island incident, I don't see any of the Straw Hats besides Chopper having under 1 billion bounty.
we'll see. Chopper can still
We'll
come
see.
through and flex. You know, like, I don't know if they're gonna keep memeing on this man so hard that he's gonna just barely break 1 million. You know, by the end of this, I don't know. Like,
And then we'll get to see Kureha in a 1,000,000 berry shirt, like she did with the 100 berry shirt when Chopper's bounty went up to 100. Okay, so 1089. After all the stuff on good old Fuchsia Village, we went to the aftermath of the destruction of Leloucia with all the earthquakes that rocked the world. I was super excited they showed Laboon. It was a small, like, it was one panel, and I was just like,
bro, Iceberg. Like, I trust me, I feel the Laboon love as well. But when I saw Iceberg, I was immediately like floored and inundated with just so many different theories. Shout out to Dak Sake in the chat. What a go.
Dak in the chat. We about to talk that 1090 spice, Dak. We're just kind of recapping on 1089 now. Yeah,
So 1090 has not released TCB, so I know Dak is not on it right now.
Oh, okay. We'll give a spoiler warning before we segue into that, then, for sure. Oh, now I've lost my train of thought. I'm sad that why did they show Hina, of all people? Out of all the Marines they could have shown reacting to the earthquakes, why Hina? I won't lie, I hate for Hina.
I'm a big Hina fan, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I think her fruit is effectively useless, but that's neither here nor there. I was confused on why they showed her of all people. That said, I would love to see some more Django and Full Body. They need love like Kobe and Helmeppo get it.
We can get a whole filler arc about them in the anime. Like, I wouldn't even be mad.
Ooh, that could lead up to the battleship bags too.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. Yeah, I'm actually not sure if we should talk about 1090 just because, yeah, it's like, I don't think most people have read it at all. But I mean, I'm down to talk 1089 and 1071.
Yeah.
Like,
That's fair. That's fair. We can continue on the 1089 discussion because a lot happened in the chapter as well. Ugh. Yeah, a lot of people wait for the TCB release. I forget that not everyone jumps on it the minute it comes out like I do.
Yeah, like I don't read spoilers at all, so I have not read any of the new chapter myself. So if we do talk about that, just like yeah, do that spoiler warning, and I will update the description, and then like I'll deafen up. But like I could talk 1089 all day, brother.
Yeah, I mean we've got a lot to talk about with it. What are you thinking about the rising sea levels, man?
So I brought this up, you know, a little bit in the Vision Sake stream. Everybody go check that out as well if you haven't already. But like I got most excited when like I heard about the rising sea levels. The first thing I thought of was Water 7, and then we see Iceberg literally there. And what was Iceberg's dream? But was to turn Water 7 into a floating ship of its own, like a vessel. And so
Yes.
if he were to accomplish that, then he would not only save like the whole city like of Water 7, but that would also be just a wonderful gigantic island-sized ship that could just sail right on through and carry all of the Grand Fleet to the final war. And that's what I think would be amazing. I'm so excited. I need that to happen.
Yeah, I have never even come across anything like that. That is an amazing thought right there.
Yeah, just
I was
imagine
more-
if they like if Rayleigh coats an entire city, and they just ride that thing through Fishman Island all the way from like Alabasta all the way to Egghead and get all of the people who you know Luffy has helped along the way basically, and they
Yeah,
just
'cause
all pull up. Like I would love that.
I think the Grand Fleet's going to show up at the end of Egghead. There's 30,000 men sieging on Egghead from the Marines. Now is the perfect time for the Grand Fleet to pop up.
Yeah, and just
And plus
imagine if they just pull up riding Water 7, like an entire city. like how cool would that be?
That would be insane. Poor citizens of Water 7, though. Like, they're just getting dragged into this battle.
I think they've been through worse. Like they go through
Yeah.
Aqua Laguna every damn year, right? Like
What I was thinking about, though, and I haven't seen too many mention this, is that they confirmed that some of the islands that were affected by it were effectively swallowed by the sea entirely.
yeah.
And I'm wondering if any of those islands are ones we know of, actually.
Yeah, one of the first comments that I saw was "Rip Tonjit," and I almost wept. I almost like
Oh.
I almost cried like on the spot. I was like, no, like no, oh no.
Why would you say that? Rip Gaimon?
Well, he had some elevation there. I just
True.
didn't- like he had the animals can help him out a little bit as well, and I think the chest would float, right? Like I think.
If
Like, I
not,
think
his
he'd be
Afro
okay.
would save him.
Yeah, he's
We
got
can push
a
that.
built-in flotation device, but like I think that Tonjit though, I'm not too worried about him because he is the world's stilt champion. But I did want to express concern for basically all of Long Ring Longland. You know, like
Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, because that's where the water for Aqua Laguna comes from, is the middle of Long Ring Longland. Is Long Ring Longland now completely separated? Like, are all the islands now completely separated? That's a good... Oh.
yeah, like this has repercussions that we haven't really like had to think about for a really long time. And like when you think of Dressrosa and Greenbit, and you think of like Punk Hazard as well, like two islands that are really close together, like that is like there's probably some like I think there's definitely something that went down with Punk Hazard with the rising water levels, because wasn't there like a water like line like dividing through like it looked like a Pokeball, right? Like
Yeah, I think it was just a lake, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong about that. I will actually look. I'm on Google for this exact reason, because during streams, your boy forgets things sometimes.
oh, all the time, bro. Like,
All the time. What's funny too is it'll be something I was talking about literally like 2 hours before the stream, and then I'll just forget. Okay, yeah, so it is a lake, but it spreads out and connects to the sea. It is basically a Pokeball.
Yeah, so I think that if it connects to the sea, it would be inundated, and the whole middle part of that would be flooded, right?
Yeah, and then think about it. Maybe 100 years from now, that's no longer Punk Hazard. That's Fire and Ice Islands, like, or some shit like that. Aokiji and Aikinu Island. Like,
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen too many other islands that I would worry about because, like I don't know, the Drum Rockies are way up. Like, I'm not worried
yeah.
about that at all, right? Like, Alabasta though,
Oh yeah.
with it
No,
being as
no.
important as it is, but there's like I don't know. I don't think it would flood the whole river though, because that's a river that flows into the ocean instead of like a river that's connected on both sides to the, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, but
So, after seeing the hole where Lelucia Kingdom was, what island do you think was erased at Eni's lobby?
well, I know a very popular theory is that God Valley could have been there, and I know that there's multiple theories about the whole God Valley thing, and I feel like this has got to predate, like God Valley was too recent for it like that. So I mean, for me, it had to be something like way long ago, because they did even go. The narrator went out of his way to say that this, these had never been, reported in like recorded history, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because when I first saw it, I thought immediately God Valley. But then I started thinking about it, and my man Din Din Cushy kind of pushed me to help me believe. I think it was Pangea, like the continent of Pangea. Like, that is where they separated the world, basically. Either that, or that was the original location of the Ancient Kingdom. Because let's be real, the Ancient Kingdom's not. Everyone thinks that it's still like there's some part of it that's still alive or still thriving. Most likely not. Emu would not leave any fragment of that alive.
Yeah,
My man is cold. My girl is cold.
I think that, yeah, like for me specifically, seeing how long it's taken them to construct Tequila Wolf, I feel like that the Gates of Justice had to have been, because they're massive, they're like something that's on that same scale, that had to have been something that was probably there long ago, like potentially Void Century time. So like I feel like, I don't know, but I think that the timelines, it has to be like 1,000 years ago, or at least like this is pre Void Century, like hole that we're dealing with here with Eni's lobby, in my opinion.
Really? That is an interesting.
It might be like at the end of the Void Century, but I have the argument that in my head, like I think that it could even be pre-Void Century. Like,
Ooh, that you might be onto something there, because maybe even if it was like pre-Void Century, if Emu was around to see what the destruction of the hole in Eni's lobby, like what caused it, that could be why they are trying to recreate the destruction of it. Like the Mother Flame and stuff like that.
Yeah, this could have been like a powder keg type situation that like set off the Void Century for all we know. Like,
yeah. And that would fall into the whole theory of history repeating itself as well. If
but I don't think,
if the destruction, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, if the destruction of whatever was at Eni's lobby set off the events of the Void Century, it would mirror the destruction of Lucia, setting off what's going on now with the Revolutionary Army.
Yeah, I just look, the way that I see it is that the Gates of Justice are just so massive. There's no way without some other sort of like influence that they were able to construct those within the Void Century, or like very shortly after, and then all of a sudden we see Tequila Wolf, which is 700 years in the making, and it's like I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. We don't have real ways to scale those two immensely massive like objects, but that's just, I guess, the ground that I stand on when it comes to that, is like I don't think that they can pull off something like the Gates of Justice within like if they didn't exist before the Void Century and they existed after the Void Century, it means it's 100 years. I don't think it's possible. Like unless there's some like divine act or like some like crazy awakened devil fruit power that we haven't seen yet. I fail to believe that this is something that would have just happened within the Void Century. I think this predates it, in my opinion.
Mhm. God, I love you, Vix. Oh, that's spicy, man. That's spicy. I like that. Moving on from the big hole that we all want to fill.
Bruh.
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 I was kind of sad, just going in the order of events in 1089, because I have it pulled up. I was kind of sad to see that the beaches Sanji used to run on with all of his favorite queens were flooded. Um, those were his whole training grounds, and now Kamabaka Queendom has lost its beautiful beaches. Poor Ivankov. Also, did we see is Dragon? Do you think Dragon's still like storyline wise? Dragon should be on Kamabaka, right?
Unless they mobilized for the red line, yes.
Yeah.
Because
I
that
didn't
was
think-
the last place we saw, like with Ivankov and Dragon reuniting with like Sabo and talking about
Yeah.
the Reverie and Kuma and everything. Yeah, like that was the last place we saw them. It did state that it was on Momoiro, I think is what it's called, like island or
Yeah.
like, but yeah, the Kamabaka Kingdom.
Yeah. See, we didn't. What tells me that him and Sabo are probably on the move right now is that we didn't see their reaction to the water rising on Kamabaka.
Yeah, I think we can infer that. That would be pretty safe to say, and I'm interested to see because he said once the God Knights are mobilized, that's when the real fight starts. So that could already be something that's, and I don't know. I don't want to say off screen very liberally here, but like Oda is getting a lot of the dominoes placed definitely off screen, and we're getting a little bit of. I don't know, it's been a thing throughout Egghead where we're just not 100% sure on the timelines and the sequencing. And I feel like he's playing it very, very, very tightly so that we only have just enough information for it to drive us mad, right?
I know.
Yeah, so I don't think he's gonna give us like solid timelines again until it's time for every domino to topple, like for the whole shebang, right?
Yeah, because we don't even know how the Straw Hats came into the position that they are in at the end of 1080. Like, we don't know how they overtook York. We kind of, I'm trying to avoid 1090 stuff. But like, we don't know exactly how all that went down yet. Like, we've got a little bit of information. I'm not going to say anything about that, just because, like you said, not everyone has read 1090. But still, we don't have that full picture of like how they got from, oh, Frankie's petrified and everyone's getting their shit rocked right now, to, okay, they're the victors. Like, we have not seen that yet. And I don't think we're gonna get it, if I'm honest.
Well, I heard it put very, very well. While I was watching OPU stream, shout out to One Piece University, friends of the channel. Major W's in their streams in recent times, and like, but the thing is like they were talking about. I think it was Prince who said that it would be such a knee jerk kind of like a, you get like whiplash if we just got off of all of the gas chapters that we got with like, you know, away from Egghead, and then we came back to immediately where we were, which was like a bit of a war of attrition, like between the Seraphim and, you know, some of the Straw Hats, and like it was just like if we immediately got right back and, you know, saw Straw Hats not immediately with the W in hand, it would have felt like the pacing would have been like off, you know what I mean? Like so I think that was a really, really interesting way of Oda bringing us back into the fold with Egghead without it losing the momentum that he just built up off of Egghead, right?
Yeah, that is a good way to look at it. I like the war of attrition line that you just said. Really kind of put it in perspective for me.
Yeah, because if I were to just see like a 20, like, and I mean I'm fine with seeing some fight scenes right now. That would be amazing in my opinion. I would love seeing like that, but if we just immediately got right back down into the trenches, like after all of the lore piece and the like exposition and like the the crazy amounts of like world building that we just got and everything, and it seemed like Oda added just the right amount of intrigue and a little bit of sweetness for us to be like still on the edge of our seats and like still kind of gassed about the egghead situation. But if we were to just go straight back into just like, oh well, you know, Luffy can't, you know, like, you know, I don't know, like Luffy versus Lucci was cool and everything, but it wasn't like, it didn't seem like a real fight to me. It was just like
that was one-sided, man. That was one-sided. Everyone, when I first, it was, because that chapter came out right before I joined the last arc, so I didn't do a chapter review for it on last arc. But when I did my chapter review for the Lucci versus Luffy fight, I kept saying that Luffy dog-walked Lucci, and everyone was so mad at me for it. Like, they were like, I don't think it was that one-sided, but it was. My man went Gear 5 and just walked Lucci. Like, Lucci got some hits in, yes, but that was a one-sided fight entirely. They told him not to engage a Yonko. Boy didn't listen to reason and got his shit rocked because of it.
Yeah. But I thought it was really tasteful that Oda had set up so many of these different mysteries and things like that, that like literally no matter what we would have gotten, even if we didn't go immediately back to Egghead, I would have been happy. I would have been happy seeing, you know, like what's going on Winter Island, or like with that aftermath. Would have been happy staying on Hachinosu. I would have been happy going to Sphinx. Would have been happy going to the Red Line. Like, I would have been happy with so many things, or even like knowing what's up with Cross Guild, like on Empty Bluffs. Like, so many different things that are cooking right now. I would have had no complaints with any of it, but I'm really, really, really happy to be seeing Straw Hats again. And like, yeah, like that last panel was just it was insane. The way that it kind of delivered, and it was I can't compliment Oda enough with him leaving just enough mysteries still on Egghead alone, not even accounting for all the other locations that we could have gone to, with the whole Bonnie situation, with the whole York situation, with you know, like there were a bunch of different things that were all like culminating, and it would have been weird for us to be getting so much payoff in the Reverie and like Hachinosu chapters while we were away, and then just get right back to a point where we have like no answers and we have to like kind of trudge through some things before we get payoff. He cut right to the payoff, and now we'll kind of get to see this like Quentin Tarantino style where hopefully we like fill in the blanks backwards, right?
Oh, that's the best way to put it, man. Quentin Tarantino style, film in reverse. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm not gonna lie, there's a hot take I need to get off my chest. Because you mentioned Sphinx Island, I do not see any reason story-wise for them to go to Sphinx. Besides, maybe to visit Ace is great.
Yeah, that's the big part there, and I think that there is a side of Luffy that is indebted to Marco.
Whitebeard. Oh, Marco. Okay, yeah, yes. True.
I mean,
true.
As well as you and I respect Whitebeard, Luffy never got to know him and show that respect while he was alive, because he was still a little bit bratish towards him at Marineford, and was like, I don't care who you are, I'm here to do this, I'm going to do this, regardless of what you say. And so Whitebeard showed respect to Luffy, but we didn't really see Luffy paying those same respects, right? Even post-war, because there was so much other things going on. But with Marco, he showed in you know, in Roof Piece and, you know, throughout the whole raid and everything like that, absolute undying respect.
Oh yeah, and I think that in a way, the way that Luffy stood up to Whitebeard, which is one of my favorite moments in Marineford, especially Buggy's reaction to it. But the way he stood up to Whitebeard was the ultimate way to show Whitebeard respect. Kind of like we're both here to save my brother. We're on equal footing right now, my man. I'm gonna be king of the pirates. But no, I know so many fans out there are wanting us to go to Sphinx, and I just cannot. Besides, maybe a lot of people think we're gonna get another time skip. Maybe they'll spend the next time skip on Sphinx with Marco.
So they went out of their way to show us when Green Bull arrived that he was doing a little bit of terraforming with specifically Udon, and that was like a deserted kind of wasteland, no man's land, like prison, area. And if it were to be terraformed permanently or like rapidly by him, that'd be cool. But I don't see us going back to Wano and immediately seeing that payoff. But if we were to go to Sphinx, which is another place where Green Bull recently was and fought, that would be a cool way of us getting like that. Oh, this is what happened to Wano, but like through Sphinx, because we can just extrapolate that, like, oh yeah, this is just what happens where Green Bull goes, and things like that. And I would have loved to see like an actual fight for Weevil, because we have no idea what he can actually do at this point. So yes. I mean, I would love if we got some of that recontextualization.
I think I'm fixed
retrospectively, but I think that like there's a lot of sentimental value there as well. But that's one of the biggest mysteries that still it does tie in with Egghead right now is what is going on with Stussy, like the clone wise and things like that. And we might not get the answers from. Yeah, we might not get any more answers from the clone. We might get more answers from the OG.
Not just from the OG, but from other people as well.
Yes. Oh, Dindin's back. Hi, Dindin.
Hello. Yeah, sorry about that. I think I'm fixed. If I start like the audio starts going funny, let me know.
I will. We were on a tangent about Sphinx, but right now we are talking about 1089. We're actually about to get to when they revealed how much of a siege was about to come down onto Egghead.
I mean, it doesn't mean much ever since Wano. It's just like, you can have as many ships around there as you want and still find a way out. But like, yeah, like, we can't say too much because Rex doesn't seem too 1090 or anything. But yeah, they're very, very surrounded. Very surrounded. It looks like this.
Yeah, like running the numbers, they did announce exactly how many vice admirals were present at Marineford. I think it was over 50, right?
Yes.
At Marineford, yes.
And then we had 3 admirals, and we had just a shit ton of like it was literally Marine headquarters, tons of ships, countless ships, and things like that. But just going off of the admirals and vice admirals, we're looking at about a third of the big names that as far as like what's comparable to what Marineford was.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like at the end of the day, we knew that as soon as they got there and we saw the mech beasts, that was straight away a benchmark. Then you get into Egghead and you have all these robots and stuff, and they kind of all have like a bit of a hive mind that like corruptible or like stealable, or you can take control of them. At the same time, like Vegapunk is just loaded, absolutely loaded with power, really. And now you've got Lucci there as well and stuff like that. So the whole thing is like such a high level already. Like there's definitely going to be no more times in the story where we see just a little bit of, everything will be a busticle from now on. Is my point.
Yeah, I mean that's what they said in the chapter, is that the 30,000 men and 9 Navy vice admirals is enough power to put a Buster Call to shame.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like at this point, Luffy could solo just a normal Buster Call, like, not even a sweat. Like, it's like I don't know. It depends on the Vice Admirals, because a Buster Call is like 5 Vice Admirals. It really depends on which ones, I guess. But I think there's a few Straw Hats that I think could now solo Buster Calls, so they had to step it up, And
Robin included. Way to go, girl.
As long as there's no female vice admirals, I think Sanji can absolutely.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, and like Zoro,
I mean,
Jinbei.
I mean, if you get like two cannibals next to each other in the wrong place, then he's screwed. If you know what I mean.
No, but Jinbei could like solo like 10 consecutive Buster Calls. I think that's not even fair, right? Like.
I love Jinbei so much.
That's true, actually. Like, realistically, like, Fishman, they're pretty
busted.
Powerful, like kind of like not designed for that, but like to specifically get like hits them notes.
I think a lot of fans, and I'm not saying you guys in particular, but I think a lot of fans are still reeling with the fact that this is not just the Straw Hats anymore. This is a Yonko crew. Like, they are all powerful as all get out. Like, if you put Usopp in the middle of Alabasta, do I think he could take out crocodiles? Maybe. Actually, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been able to stop that revolution by himself, probably.
If it wasn't for Shanks' crew, like, people would, like, everyone in anime would be like, yeah, this, like, guy is fucking just too much. But, like, Shanks is just, like, a better version almost, or, like, we don't know that, but that's the idea, the projection that we get. Like.
Aside from the Yonko crew aspect, which I do see, is that, yeah, they've seen a lot more of a glow up, like, now, like, post I would say everything, you know, post Wano it seems surreal compared to like post Whole Cake, where we were going into Wano and they were like, I don't know, it's wild. Every time we like leave the lens of the world government, like what they can openly see and observe, even though they weren't there at Wano, like it was still like, you know, for the most part 1 and 2 were like under the radar from the world government. But seeing like them splash back down into the blue sea, like off of Mount Fuji, and like all of the stuff that's going on right now, yeah, like they definitely are riding like much bigger waves, but it's not just them on Egghead. There's also like Sentomaru and the whole like fleet of like the Mach 3s, which we have no idea what they're actually capable of outside.
Like we have like the island itself. Like if everyone on the island was to leave right now and there was just like one strong person versus the island would do really well. Like it's a strong place, like all the technology and.
That's hard facts, man. And speaking of Sentomaru, that is actually in the chapter, since we've been kind of just going through and talking about all the events of 1089. That is the next point of contention, is Admiral Kizaru and Sentomaru's discussion and how laid back it was. That's what I took away from that whole talk. Is it was basically a family member being like, "Come on, man, don't do this," and the other family member being like, "No, come on, man, you don't do this."
Yeah, it makes it real. It definitely makes it feel like.
Yeah, I like the rapport that Kizaru, like, for one, the glow up, because this man can actually use a transponder snail now. Like, how far we've come in 2 years, you know? Like,
I mean, you say that, but then later in the chapter, when the Gorsei are talking, he still has to be told that he's allowed to listen in.
It's just so funny to me that like that was the whole point in Saba Odi. He's just like, wait, how do I do this? Like but like, here we are 2 years later, and he's almost got it figured out, guys. Like,
right?
Shout out to Kizaru.
Yeah, shout out to Kizaru for his personal growth.
But no, I think Sentomaru. I don't know. I legitimately felt like I felt a bit of a knot in my stomach when Lucci tore him to him, and I was just like, no, this can't be happening, because like, yeah, Oda just has a really great way of kind of getting those emotions out of you, and like I didn't think I would really give a shit about Sentomaru until I did, and then like now I'm really hoping that Sentomaru. Like, I don't know, like, I think there's gonna be a little bit more there, and I'm almost like on like Sentomaru for Straw Hat vibes, but like I just don't have that about, I can't say that about anybody now after the whole like Carrot and Yamato thing, and now Caribou, and like nobody can say it without it being like ironic at this point, but no, I think that would be great. Like,
I do have a lot of love for Sentomaru, a lot of love.
All right, but were either of you ever on the Caribou for Straw Hat train?
No.
Like actually?
Oh no.
Absolutely not. I'd rather than be the 10th Titanic captain, like, over Kuzan than, like, join the Straw Hats. Like, there's no way, bro. Like,
I do have a question though. Like, what's your thoughts on the symbol on Sentomaru's bib?
Ooh.
I'm drawing a blank right now. I don't even know.
I'm Googling it right now. I will send it in the group chat.
Yeah, let me pull it up on my phone.
Oh, it's basically like an ohm symbol. It's like the three, I almost said comma looking like shapes encircling.
No, not on the Tamui.
The Tamui? Oh. Honestly, first impressions looking at it, I think Fishman. I don't know why, but I do.
Interesting. It's the same symbol that was on the drums. They were banging Wano, and at the Fire Festival, and that are on Anel's, like, to whatever they're called,
Well,
Takiki drums. I can't
we
say.
saw Sentimaru using Rio pre-time skip too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's true.
Like,
And if you listen to Maru's design, he is definitely from Wano.
I mean,
his name
the
even
axe,
has like Maru,
like,
like right. That's like a. I know a lot of I know a lot of One Piece names are like named like traditionally like appended like Japanese proper names and things like that as well, but not all of them. Like, but specifically, like he's been going out of his way to make it very noticeable for Wano-centered names, and so that's why
Yes.
a lot of people were pulling like the whole Nosjuro thing. But yeah, Sentimaru absolutely still fits the bill on that as well.
Oh my God, Yuzuki Maru confirmed. No.
no. But for real, something spicy. Like we saw. The only thing that, yeah, like I can't remember who it was that was talking earlier about it, but we've spoken about it before. The whole like fact, Sentimaru has an axe, and like they were saying these are like woodcutter and stuff like this. It's like there's something going on there. There is something going on with Sentimaru, like, and the stitching always to me indicates that they've had some sort of work done on their brain, or like Vegapunk's maybe done some work on Center.
Well, I think so. With the origin story we got, it was just that there was a boy who was like ridiculously strong
Found.
and used to like, cut trees down outside of a village in some woods or whatever, and then Vegapunk found him and was like, "Oh, you're strong, join me," and like yada yada. I don't know, like, but it kind of gives me Kaido vibes, where it's just like there's just a random kid. Just some.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, and then like all.
And
of a
as I
sudden,
said, King was in Wano, which makes me think like with the tree cut, and there might be some sort of Lunarian tie. But considering their fuel source is the eternal flame, not the eternal flame, just fire, it's a bit worrying. It might be that Sentimaru's been cutting down trees for Vegapunk to burn or something to fuel everything.
Sentimaru created the Drum Islands, confirmed.
Oh my god.
Confirmed.
No, I just think that like it's really interesting to think about. I just lost it in the train of thought that I was. So specifically with like, I don't know. Do you think that it's possible that just like sometimes like, and like we see it with Big Mom as well, how she is just an absolute unit that got birthed out of a completely normal family. We see her in her family, her parents, and they are just like normal people that somehow this like, so it's like you think that there's just people who are born and like they just hit like the lineage factor like lottery and are just literally born genetically superior, like with some like latent genes or something like that, like, but
well, now that I'm thinking about it, Sentimaru, even if he's not directly from Wano, it could be a Zoro type situation where maybe one of his previous lineage left Wano and ended up wherever they ended up. So maybe you're right.
Which is
maybe
probably some sort of Ryuma, like either Ryuma becoming a Shimosuke or like some. I think maybe like whoever Toki's protector was. If Toki was like the daughter of a shogun, then she might have had a protector, which would have been the first.
Oh my god.
Like Linii, whatever.
What if Sentimaru's family were the protectors of Toki, if she is like a royal family, daughter or whatever? And when she went into the future, to the people around her, maybe it looked like she just disappeared. So maybe they were disgraced and left Wano.
It's interesting. Like that is an interesting line that you're going with. Like,
so Toki,
there could be something down there.
Toki had left Wano before she had shunted herself into the future because she did not show up on Wano. She was like, I need to get to Wano. So whatever happened, like to get whoever left Wano, like we'd assume there were multiple voyages off of Wano because of that information. Like we know with the Shimotsuki, there were like 50 individuals who like fled Wano borders for like and went to the east for whatever reason and found it there. But like there's precedence that has absolutely happened, in the past, like 800 years ago, because Toki was found off of Wano, needing to get back to Wano. So either her and maybe the full Amatsuki clan, or just her and like vassals or something like that. They did make an expedition out of Wano's closed borders, even way back then.
Do we know where Toki was found?
No, we don't.
No, I believe it did say the New World.
Toki at God Valley confirmed.
Honestly, I like this. Like, I like the only the stuff, because I've always been interested in Sentomaru. The only stuff I've looked into is the scar, and you can find some stuff, and the 2 symbols that are on the chest, on the bib, which you can find. But the idea that, like, I don't know, like King, like this one Lunarian that's tied to trees, and then you've got like Sentomaru, this one sort of individual person with a weird mixing symbol that we haven't really seen before combined, like tied to this cut in trees, and then you've got like like you've got Den, who's the sea forest researcher. I don't know, it just seems a bit kind of vibey like that. So I might have to crack that egg. Like, we'll try to.
Do you guys think that Kizaru and Sentomaru are blood related, or do you think it's like a adopted uncle kind of thing?
No,
they're definitely not blood related.
Uncle, that's like slang for like it's Yakuza terms. So it's just like yeah, it's a thing in Japanese. Like he's not the way that he's referring to him. It's not like the word for uncle is ambiguous in Japanese apparently, but it's the way that it's contextualized is that it's more likely to be like a gang boss type of like a reference to Kizaru. Like, you know, instead of saying like uncle, just imagine he's saying like boss. But
the word comes after the word grandpa though.
Yeah, he did say Grandpa
like
Vegapunk as well, but I think that's just because Vegapunk took him in, and like it's also contextualized that like yeah, Vegapunk has spent time with Kizaru because he specifically has pulled like some of the tech from his, or at least like the data, and recreated it using tech for his lasers. But all that we've gotten in 1089 is that, you know, like I don't think they're not blood related in my opinion. I think that's just kind of the
they're not going to be like we were talking about earlier. It's like if Kuzan said to Garp, like called him Uncle or Gramps, like it's because they're related to this, like that's their story together. They're part of the story, so it just shows they're like all related, all closely tied. You know, it's actually quite clever, like having the word Grandpa then Uncle straight after, like very direct.
Kizaru and Sentomaru definitely go way back, because in that flashback where we saw Vegapunk and Sentomaru kind of researching Kizaru's powers, they were all noticeably younger. Like, noticeably younger. And Oda does that kind of stuff on purpose. So there's definitely a long-standing bond between the three. Kizaru is a traitor. I have to bring it up, guys. Sorry. Moving on
A lot of people agree with you.
Oh, I know people do. If I get that right, it'll be my first big win in One Piece theories. Moving on, what do you guys think about how Saturn acted in 1089? I do not take into consideration anything that happened in 1090.
So for me specifically, like I feel like it was a little cleverly, like it was cleverly written in my opinion, because it's a little ambiguous. The way that I read it is that he seemed like he could have been worried about like the lavosphere or whatever, like but like somebody made a joke where it was like he's worried about it. He's like, oh yeah, I'm only worried about it for you, you know, like, but like I'm not worried about it. And like, because there's a common theory that he is the shadowy figure that we saw on one of the monitors and things like that. So like, I think it was very clever. It was written in an interesting way that I think that he's not writing himself into a hole here. If he were to come out of left field and be like, "Oh, psych, I wasn't worried at all the whole time," you know what I mean? Shout out to Threevil. We got Threevil in the chat right now. Thank you, brother, for coming.
What's up, buddy?
Threeville, hop in this mofo. No. Thank you, Threeville. What is up, my man? We are talking the spiciest of spice with 1089 right now. Yeah, the way that Saturn has come across, especially these past few chapters with him being on Egghead, it's just, he's always been stoic. Like, out of all of the Gorosei, like when they were talking about Nika, 1071 is the perfect example. He always seems very cold, not cold necessarily, but he's separating his emotions from the logic of the situations entirely. So when he said to sink the ship, it's something about it gave me those Ibu vibes.
Yeah, it hits deep.
It does, because we still know very little about the Gorosei, but we've gotten tidbits about the way that they operate through the small interactions we've had with him. And like I said, I've always seen Saturn specifically as kind of cold, collected. Him, and then I'm still learning all their names and memorizing them. The one that we all think is from Wano, they both seem very straightforward. Very, very straightforward.
Talking about my guy, Ethan.
Ethan. And it's so wild to me to see him just break that entirely and being like, nah, kill those mofos. Like, they do not deserve to live. Go read 1090, everybody.
I'm just waiting, brother. Once I get my notification, I will be on it, but I haven't seen it. So,
Yeah, I won't say anything for you. I don't want to spoil anything for you because I'm telling you, Vex, it is every chapter in Egghead. I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million times more. Shit. Pure banger. Pure bangers.
yeah. I mean, I'm always glad to get a little bit, I don't know, like from Oda recently, it's just been like he's been trying to like constantly redefine what a 10 out of 10 means. And so I hear a lot of people saying like 10 out of 10 chapter and this and that, and like it's almost like I reserve my opinions at this point. I'm just like I'm not gonna say anything, and for one, until I see officials, because like you know, especially with the whole Mother Flame, Mother Furame and things like that, like thing that we had going on where like not even the officials knew what was up on that, like, and like I don't know, it's just it's such an interesting time to be caught up in One Piece that like for me specifically, hearing 10 out of 10, I fully believe it, but at the same time I'm just like, I'll judge it for myself though, you know, like.
I mean, even to kind of like add to your point there, look at when we first started talking about 1089. We gave like 3 different names for it before we got to the official name.
Exactly. We wanted to give a major welcome to Cube of the Red Sea, who just joined in on the call. What is going on, brother?
What's up, guys? Sorry for being late. Had some phone issues.
No, you're
the
good.
time
We've
just
been talking about Wano, talking about Gear 5, talking about Egghead, talking about 1089. We're not talking about 1090 because most people in the chat have not currently read it yet. So we're just talking about 1089.
They're waiting for TCB. Yeah, so we're sticking with 1089.
wait. 1081 is. Can you guys remind me not to mix up both?
Hostage situation. So it's the last chapter we got where we saw the rising sea levels, we saw the siege approaching Egghead, we saw all this with Admiral Kizaru and Sentomaru, Saturn saying that he'll kill innocents no matter what, that if there was a beach full of innocents, he would slaughter them in cold blood.
The Lulusia chapter. The chapter.
Yeah, but we're not talking about spoilers right now. We have had a few individuals in the chat who said that you know, like they haven't caught up. I haven't read it myself yet, so I'm just waiting on that to drop before we get into that discussion. But yeah, we had Dak in here earlier. We got Threeville popping in. We got SSJ8 Cody. All the goats have been stopping.
Okay, the love, guys.
The love indeed.
Let me just check because there's something I want to talk about, but I'm just gonna recheck 1089.
Of course, you're good. While Cube is doing that, what did you think about the way that Saturn said Bonnie is only a child? because I'm starting to think that she may be a child that's using her fruit to come across as an adult. And if that is the case, a lot of the fandom belongs in jail.
I think, okay, so specifically with the way that Oda has been portraying her, yes, there are some behavioral things that make me say like, okay, maybe. But there are things that go all the way back to her introduction in Saba Odi that make me think, no, there's no way. Like specifically with the way that she saved Zoro from getting in too deep with the whole Celestial Dragon situation, there is no way that like a little 5-year-old is gonna do that. I'm sorry, like in my opinion.
I was
Speak
thinking
like
more
Zoro.
along the lines of like a 10, 12-year-old in between that age range for her.
Yeah, but I mean, what the thing is that I think that Oda's being very clever right now and trying to make it ambiguous, but I don't think that like we're not gonna get like an actual solid answer on that until it's like, you know, far too many dominoes are set in place for it to like all like lead up to like a bigger thing. I think that he's written it that way so that we can think it could go either way. But for me specifically, I would rather it be that I don't know, I have an interesting Bonnie agenda, and I think that there's no way she's just like a little kid. But like the thing is, he's a dude who is probably into his like 70s or 80s, right? Like, and so saying a child, that can literally be anybody who's like under 30, which
So
that's a lot of people. He could be calling like a lot of people child. He can go up and call Frankie a child, right? And that Frankie's like the second oldest of the Straw Hats, or like third now. But like still, he can go up and call Jimbei a child. I don't think he could call Brooke a child, but he might be able to. There's arguments for that as well.
yeah, I agree with Vex, and I'll bring this up here. Lucas, do you know what Count Dracula in most of his books, how he calls everyone he meets?
Yeah.
My kin. Why? Because Dracula has been 30 years for 300 years. That's also, don't forget, he hasn't aged since the O'Hara incident. So for him saying a child, it's not like saying, you know, like my kid, or, you know, or something like this 20-year-old, you know, or this 15-year-old. A child for someone who we haven't seen age in 20 years. So let's say we know, so 22 years he hasn't aged. So we say 70, he might be maybe 150 years old. I'm betting that Kureha is as old as the Gorseis. I think the Gorseis are like 140, 150 years old.
Yeah.
With that logic, which is interesting. You know why? This is the lifespan of a witch. A wizard and a witch live to 150 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I think the timing. So that's why I go with Vex. I agree with Vex. It's just for him, his personality, the way he sees it.
We also have to explore the possibility that when Kuma gave himself up to the Gorosei, to Vegapunk, and to the world government, that he might have said, no matter what, you guys don't harm my child. Like, you no matter what, arrest her if you need to, her head's off limits kind of thing.
I don't know if they have such a code of honor that they would like abide by that, which brings up a whole nother point, like if there were like some sort of like contractually binding sort of like devil fruit or something like that, where they literally can't go against those like terms. But like that's a thought that I pushed around, but I'd also pushed around the thought that like specifically something has happened to Bonnie long ago, and we're actually not seeing the real Bonnie right now, and this is just a clone or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's been a prevalent theory. I heard that like as soon as we saw the thought bubble, and like specifically the wording was that Vegapunk was like, no, I had to promise to not let you see this. Why?
Yeah.
Like why else would it make sense? Like,
I'll also add this with this whole thing is what was about to say. Oh, I had an interesting thought. Yeah, what were you saying just before, Vex? It came with what you were saying. What you were just saying.
I was talking about maybe a contract power, or that Bonnie isn't the real Bonnie. Like,
Yeah. So my thing is this. I always thought of this, right? They do seem to follow a lot of the Kuma stuff, right? Even Vegapunk follow. Well, now we know Vegapunk gets along with Kuma and they're friends, so that's why he complied to it. Or it could be Vegapunk. But what I always thought of this, right? The Smiles, who are said to be failures, most of them, If you think about it, who is the one who handles them? The Toltanas, people who are forced to do it. I always wondered, with everything about free will, what if until Kuma did what he needed to do for the government, like become a full pacifista, they needed him to do it on his free will? Like this, it was important. And maybe that's why, because I don't see them being, like you said, being honorable to, but however, Vegapunk is, but Vegapunk does that pull. What if they've been, delaying everything? And that's why Bonnie, until this point, now that he's a complete cyborg pacifista, they don't need to comply anymore. That's why he kind of says it as well. I think they were obliged because of he wasn't complete yet. And maybe
Yeah.
free will is important.
But
Yes,
the real question when it comes to what specifically Saturn said about Bonnie is, he said we got what we needed from her, right? Like we
Yeah,
she
that's
served
where,
her purpose. And again, no spoilers. I don't know if this is something that gets dropped, but I think that purpose is way more important than what her actual age is because regardless of if she was a little child or an old lady or exactly who we think she is, one way or the other, she was able to provide some sort of service that was a necessity, to the world government. And when we go back to post time skip, at the very beginning when we saw Akainu hunting her down and stuff like that, there's a lot contextually
and also,
that we're missing.
No, you're right. Just think about this, right? Bonnie did not know the satellites, but she knew Vegapunk well enough to know that none of them were Vegapunks, but didn't know what they were. So she has met Vegapunk at a time where the satellites weren't even a thing. So you're right. She could be part of that Project Zero even before the satellites. Because she knew exactly that was Vegapunk. That's interesting. What you're saying right now.
And with her coming into fold and importance in the story, right, when we get introduced to the SSG, the Seraphim, and things like that, what if she's prototype? This is something that crossed my mind, a long time, well, not a long time ago, but when I first read through what the Seraphim were, and got, as we got those reveals and things like that, and as more questions started to arise around Bonnie, I'm just nah, something is too sus right now.
See, this is the problem with introducing clones into a story, because then all of a sudden, everyone might be a clone.
Yeah, that's what the one in One Piece stood for. The whole, it's just missing the C and the L. It's clone piece.
Yeah, clone piece. Gosh. It reminds me of the terrible, terrible Spider-Man clone saga that came out in the 90s.
Well, it just reminds me of there's I'm sort of trying not to tie everything to D&D, but there's definitely a lot of this whole imposter situation, and could this be somebody else in disguise, or not knowing true origins and things like that. It's extremely interesting what it does to a story,
Yes.
especially a universe as big as what we've seen in One Piece. Literally everything is subjective now. So many things that we thought we knew before, we're just now wait a minute. Just because it was the same thing with time travel when we first got the Toki reveal. This can literally there are literally no borders. Anything is possible at this point given this information, which is too much. It's overwhelming, right?
I'm hoping that he doesn't lean too heavily into clones. I don't want Bonnie to be a clone. I don't want, a lot of people to be clones. Obviously, if someone turns out to be a clone of Rock D. Zabet, okay, yeah, cool, that's cool. That makes sense. But I hope to God there isn't, just a plethora of clones out there.
Honestly.
So this is my thing. I'll go after next.
Real quick, go big or go home. I want there to be literally no clones that revealed in the main story, and it's just a red herring thing. Or I want literally every single person in the story to be a clone.
I would lose it.
Yeah, all or nothing, baby. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cube.
So you know how I believe 100% there's a cycle. People come back after they die, and later on in the story, it's a sloop basically. They're reliving different. It's think of, instead of Groundhog Day, it's Groundhog Era. They're reliving the same era. Every 50 or 100 years, it keeps repeating. That's why every 19 years, there's a certain event because 19 is 38, then 38 you have 76. Both, one is the birth of Luffy, one is God Valley, and one is an incident that Mother Caramel talked about that happened to her. That was literally following the same thing. There's those sloops. I'm wondering if Vegapunk knew about it. Instead of cloning them, since they died, he maybe created already the next host body as an adult. And have the spirit just come back there. So basically not creating new clones, is basically creating a body for them, for their spirits. It goes into a thing of then the theory about Dr. Correa and Mother Caramel playing around with spirits. And maybe that's why they seem to be older than more people and seem to know stuff about the past, you know? Like basically they've been finding a new body for them, Orochimaru style. What if
Yeah.
Vegapunk understood, and that could have been the clone thing?
Well, I think
He knows how to get spirits. Sorry, yeah, that's the
Yeah, I
point.
think that could go really well with the. So we've seen two different instances of spirits or souls. We've seen a lot more, but these are two notable instances that I want to bring up on that. Is that like, yeah, if instead of them going to maybe the afterlife or something like that, there were, you know, practices where humans could kind of force reincarnation to a degree, like with the trees in Upper Yard, that the Shandians believe to hold the souls of their, you know, relatives, their ancestors, but also the sky ships in the Fire Festival, which we're dealing with in the anime right now. It's specifically meant to like light the path for like the departed and things like that, and you're supposed to be able to communicate and write messages with them and things like that. The sky ships and those trees, they could be ways of people maybe, instead of letting people pass on, keeping them tethered here to this realm so that people can continue to inherit their will in the cycle. I like that.
Maybe this can explain all about Stelfus and swords. He realized that apparently by studying Stelfus and similar thing with swords. And what if he found a way? That's why Vegapunk is the smartest man in the world. He found a way to put it back into a living host.
Well,
This could explain why the Revolution Army, on around the same time as Dragon was at Zoro's island when they saved Sabo, was around the same time that Quina died. And Ivankov was talking to the dojo master, Quina's fathers. Then Tashigi appears to be 1 year younger than Quina, or 1 year older than Quina. That could explain it. If it goes idea that Tashigi and Quina are, you know, one of them is cloned of the other, that can explain.
Confirmed to be the same age, I believe.
No, I think Tashigi Quina is 22. Yeah, Tashigi is 23, and Quina is 22.
but you guys keep saying that like about reincarnation and stuff, but the only successful clone that we've seen in the series, the person they're cloned from is still alive.
Yeah.
My point being that like, so you wouldn't need that person's soul to clone them or anything.
No, not for cloning as we've seen it in the story so far. I think what Cube is talking about is like a different sort of like you know, the physical manifestation of like inheriting somebody's will you know, at birth. So like a legitimate reincarnation cycle as opposed to like a cloning cycle. I think cloning could be a way of trying to like strong arm that. You know what I mean? To actually like to brute force it, you know, and make it something that could happen on your time instead of on like nature's time, right?
Do you think that Weevil is a failed clone of Whitebeard?
I mean, yeah, but like parts of me think that. Parts of me also think other things. Like he could just be a sick cosplayer, right?
Lucas, are you ready for me?
Yes.
So, Weevil, and I'm gonna say crazy things, so you have to let me continue because you will have to jump. Weevil is the cell from Dragon Ball of the Rock Pirate. I looked at it. He has Big Mom's neck and cheeks, like face cheeks. He has Whitebeard's upper body, Kaido's legs, and the hair isn't actually Whitebeard's hair. It's Shiki's hairstyle. They're pointing to the sky, just like Shiki. Whitebeard had long straight hair like a princess or a prince. He didn't have to be pointy. He seemed to fit all of that. I think he's mostly Whitebeard, but the DNA that they didn't have, they took it from the other rocks pirates. What was left
Ooh,
from the
that's-
DNAs.
I'm gonna look up a picture of people.
Look at Weevil when he gets pissed off, and then don't tell me it doesn't look like Big Mom as a child when she gets pissed off. The big neck with the cheeks merging together as they yell, with a vein coming out of their forehead.
Well, I think the biggest argument for him to legitimately be like a clone instead is the fact that he's just mentally undeveloped, whereas physically they state that he's 35 years old, but like that could have been like the Germa age accelerating that we saw like back in the Judge flashbacks and stuff like that with Sanji's backstory in Whole Cake. It could have been, because they said that it takes like 5 years for them to grow a full mature 20-year-old soldier. So this dude could be like they tried accelerated aging and fucked it up, right? Like I don't know, like he could have been the guinea pig and they cooked him for a little too long or something like that, or like they just didn't have the programming quite right, so he's got a few like crossed wires. But like I don't know, like but him being he's notably mentally still a child.
Oh yeah, very, very much so. And plus, we also have to take in consideration that Miss Bucky was a part of Mads. Like she could have stolen the genetic lineage factors for some people and just kind of amalgamated them into Weevil, basically.
Yeah. So I feel like Weevil is, in my opinion, he's like the great value seraphim, right? Like he's like the off-brand, he's the wish.
Dollar Tree.
Yeah, he's the wish version of like the Whitebeard seraphim, right? Like that we, like I don't know, like. But I don't think obviously there's something wrong there, but like that's just like a common theory that I've seen, and I really like it. Like I didn't come up with it obviously, but like I think that's a really common theory. But part of me is like thinking that Oda likes to play with the whole misdirection of things, and then so now I'm putting more salt into like what other things it could be but I don't know. There's a lot of things that could be going on there. That's one of the lines I'm more interested in, honestly, is learning more about Miss Buckingham, Stussy, and Weevil. Mostly just because I love Stussy, but...
Yeah, same. I won't lie, though. If they confirm that Weevil is just Whitebeard's son, he's just, like, developmentally disabled or something, I will not be able to get the picture of Whitebeard and Stussy going at it out of my head.
Well, I mean, you know that Miss Bakin probably used to look like
Stussy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The leader of the pleasure district over here. But like, what's crazy to me is that like if there are figures that are as old as like Sengoku and Kong and things like that, people who we know were in power and were influential in the previous generation before the golden era of piracy began and things like that, Stussy would have been a notable figure in those times, and to see somebody who potentially looks identical to her and then put her into a position of power in CP0 is wild, is it not? Like
it is.
Yeah. And I'm
not gonna lie. The first time I saw Stussy, I thought it was just Khalifa with a different haircut.
That's an
Is that
That's an insult.
yeah.
That was just you. I didn't see that at all. But I can understand as well. I didn't think of her at the time. I would have thought if you told me, oh yeah, I could see it. So you're ready to know who I believe is, and Vex is gonna love it because it comes from our love that we believe One Piece movies have canon lore in it.
Yes.
I believe that after they went to the current time, so 20 years before, in Strong World, Shiki talking to Dr. Indigo, a color that is known combining other colors together. Like indigo is specifically known to be in a rainbow, or like all the color wheels, but it's known to be a mixture of so many colors. And you could go with different colors to go to indigo. It's one of those rare colors. I looked into it. I believe when Stussy stole the stuff, she took it and brought it to Shiki, which Shiki tried to do it with his doctors, and they failed. Hence why he has Shiki's hair, but it's even further than that. In Strong World, there's what's his name, boss or monster. There's this huge beetle that evolves more than the other one, that is mentally stupid, but it has connected to a young girl, and they saw this to Shiki and they did their own thing. And the boss, that big beetle or whatever it is, who was basically saying that every moon cycle he gets stronger, he evolves even more, he becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. That's why he was more stronger than all the one. I think that was they were talking about of Bakken and parallel to Bakken and Weevil. I think it's Shiki. I think the storyline of Shiki. He says 20 years. What do you know about Stussy? Stussy joined the Cypherpole from someone else 20 years ago. I think it's Shiki. That's how Shiki's come back into the story. It would make sense.
Yeah, I think
know it sounds
there's a
crazy.
lot of different ways that it could tie in, and like that's interesting. That's an interesting take. I don't know. My main thing is that like my question, I guess, is like, would you think that Miss Bakin would see Stussy as her own child as well? Like, if that's
Ooh.
like, is that her daughter? Like,
Or would she see her as a cheap knockoff?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Or-
how would
yeah.
that
Or a
interaction go?
Or a
Like,
sister. Don't forget that. She would be considered like a twin sister as well, in a way.
sorry, I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you at first, Cube, until you get speaking and then your audio fixes.
I said. Or maybe like she could see her as a twin, but yeah, I really don't know. It's interesting.
But aside from like I guess like everything that's going on at Sphinx and obviously all of the Egghead and Hachinosu vibes, I know Lucas and we had talked a little bit about he thinks that potentially that the Revs have at least Dragon and Sabo had maybe mobilized because we didn't see them specifically whenever it talked about the Kamabaka Queendom's shores being inundated with water. I wanted to know your thoughts, the two of you, on what you think might be going down with Law right about now.
He's dead. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Bro, I swear.
I am holding out hope that I don't think it's gonna come true, but I want Beppo to have somehow gotten a Blackbeard ship, and since he's the navigator, he followed the trajectory of the Straw Hats after Wano, and that is the ship that is showing up to Egghead right now. Is him and Law.
That's wild. Like, that's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm here for it. Like, but I don't know if we need Law back into the main arc. But Cube, what are you thinking?
Oh yeah.
For me, it's very simple, and it sounds crazy. I don't know how they're going to connect it, but I think where Beppo is going, and they'll be in the sea, the first thing they're going to see appear in front of them is a huge mist and Zunisha popping up. There was a statement in Zoe that always bothered me. They say Zunisha will always come, they'll always find a mink in need. Just like that. And right now,
Oh, you're right.
Beppo is a mink in need. And I always said this, I think Zunisha just goes of all things, hears the mink, and just walks. I don't think it's randomly. They never catch Zunisha, hidden with the mist, and it seems to always find the path of a mink. I think it just, because the connection with all the minks, I think it just naturally connects to one. And he is still very close by from Wano, which Zoe was not far from.
Yeah. Well.
And
Go ahead.
To add to that, who was on their way to Zoe when the Straw Hats found Zoe? Peckles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it would make sense if Zunisha was walking to meet up with Peckles. So I like that. I like that a lot.
That is interesting. Like, my main thing is that like if Beppo is still swimming while all of this is happening to the waters, like, because we haven't gotten like a solid timeline, right? But like, is this dude getting caught up in a tsunami, like, and riding that wave? Like, does he even get to choose where he goes with the way that we've seen like the earthquakes affecting the world and whatnot? Like, that's what concerns me as well, because like immediately, I was like Rip Tonjit, but then I was just like, oh, Beppo, like, like.
Man, poor Law and Kid. they got playered up at the end of Wano, getting all the poneglyphs and stuff, and then both of them just kind of got wrecked.
Actually, I just realized something. Lucas hasn't heard that, but I've told Vex, I think, one or twice. I believe that a mink has something to do with his devil fruit, the natural ability to use electricity in the Opi-Opi-no-Mi. They didn't say it was a special technique, a secret technique. It was part of one of his things, which we know Mink connects with that. And you think about it, Robin did make that mention. Are you some sort of dog raccoon? I'm wanting that was the type that whatever mink, maybe this is the one that desired it, or it's this thing where when our user eats it, the fruit evolves with the user, gets his knowledge, and one that was using electrophysics, the Opi-Opi-no-Mi, so it stayed with it. I was one of the two. But what if, because of that thing, if it's, let's say it's factual, what if that's what Zunisha is going to sense? Like gonna sense Beppo, it's going to sense Law with the Opi-Opi-no-Mi in need. Maybe Law is considered as a maybe Law is also considered as a sense as a mink because of that. There's an effect of Delphi.
So, I mean, we've seen from the Opi-Opi-no-Mi that specifically it can do a lot more than what we were originally aware of with the whole awakening aspect. But like specifically when he was able to quiet down Big Mom as like a bit of a nod to Corazon's fruit, I think that there is an argument that Law's devil fruit, if he is creative and has the will enough to do it, can literally recreate almost any natural phenomenon like that. And so a lot of other devil fruit powers as well, not just limited to the calm fruit, but I think it could do something that, and I don't know if it's, so the gamma knife I don't believe is stated to actually be electricity. It's vibrations, which is similar but not the same thing, right? So like it being, because like they said that the Sulong and Electro and whatnot is generated by the friction of their fur. So I mean there's a tie-in, but I don't know if it's like directly connected. But with his fruit, he's able to basically recreate as much as he needs to of that power without it actually being that power, right?
Yes.
No, it's just one of the. But yeah, I do agree. Like I said, I've always wondered it because this whole thing of, I told you, like Law connects so much to the minx. His first mate is a minx. Like, then there's the thing where I told you like Gamma Knife, but you might be right. And this whole lore, like he told his crew to meet up back at Zoe, so that's why I started to wonder. But yeah, you might be right.
All right, boys. I sadly have to get out of here. To everyone in the chat, thank you so much for joining the stream today. It's not ending right now, but I just wanted to say thank you for being here. Let Cube cook a little bit since he was late to the party, and then I will see you guys next time.
Yeah, thank you for stopping in and cooking up some spice with us. I'm absolutely excited for 1090 dropping and 1072 dropping. We got a long day ahead of us.
We do.
Thank you for carving out the time and for having some fun with us in the chat today. Thank you everybody in the chat for showing up. Make sure you like the stream and
like the stream, guys.
Yeah, make sure you check out the Last Arc Theory channel as well. So we've got some spice coming out over there shortly. Lucas, it's been a pleasure. Me and Cube will hold it down for a little bit longer, but we're at about 2.5 hours, so we'll probably end up calling it pretty soon.
And guys, remember, everyone in chat, remember, Kizaru is a traitor.
Okay. And what a way to end it. But yeah, Cube, beforehand we were talking a little bit about some Gear 5 spice. If you want to pivot back to the anime and talk about that with me,
sure.
How did you? I know we watched it together, but just for the chat and so everybody knows, how do you feel on the whole 1071, the Gear 5 reveal episode?
Honestly, for me, it's a 10 out of 10. I think I already told you, but I repeat to people. What I liked about it is even though you get the Orochi and Hiyori scene, and we all know it was a manga, but we all believe that, that could have been a thing that they could have removed. Other than that, I feel it was important because it's one of the first times where One Piece is all about story, right? And so basically, you're saying, okay, it's a huge story. It's his peak. You're waiting for like a crazy ability, but you realize that ability does not only is not only OP, but it has the ability to make just people laugh. How ridiculous it is. And like there's an expression in French where le ridicule ne tue pas. Basically, it says embarrassment doesn't kill you, meaning that man up. Just do it. If you're embarrassed for 2 seconds. But if you don't do it, you'll have regret for your whole life. It's basically similar to this is basically that version of that saying. And I felt like with Gear 5, it made sense, like literally saying it's the most ridiculous power in the world. But it didn't say so maybe it's not the most OP power, but in terms of OP, it is so ridiculous that people don't take it seriously, but you don't realize how it's just crazy. And, merging the Looney Tunes with shonen anime power system, it is just crazy. So yeah, that was my thought. So for me, it was 10 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I loved it.
The importance of Joy Boy.
One thing that I know a lot of, whenever it first went down in the manga, there was a little bit of people who were not really too behind it because it's like a little bit of a chosen one kind of trope, and the whole point of Luffy having just like some like nothing fruit, like to use Doflamingo as a reference, it's like strings. Okay, well, how powerful are strings? Like, what can you do with strings? And then we see exactly what somebody who is creative enough can do with such a power. I think a lot of people really did think that Luffy just being rubber was like a big part of the story, and so I can understand that some people maybe might not have been super happy with the reveal, but it was like, now that we look back, like the breadcrumbs are there. It's not like he just came up with this out of nowhere. He had very carefully planned a lot of this out and things like that, and I feel like a lot of the people who were complaining about that, although some of it is warranted, a lot of those people are just not true One Piece fans that have gone through and digested the full content, the full intellectual property, to get to the point where you need to feel what you should feel about a reveal like this. And a lot of people were kind of comparing it to other transformations. I'm like this is something completely different, like in and of itself,
Also, I would say to people, that's what I realized a couple of days ago. Literally, the whole plot of One Piece is they make people forget and they keep people oppressed, right? This is literally maybe the reason why. Joy Boy was just one among the ones who survived. Maybe there are others like him who just put laughter to people with their powers. What if most powers are just Joy Boys and for some reason they just preserve them? There's so much question that comes with it. So that's why I'm really hyped about it, because it is the one devil fruit that seems to be the middle of everything. They made a world order that seems to counter everything that devil fruit represent, which is crazy. Freedom, laughter, be able to even knowing your past, who you are, etc. Like Luffy remembering, I remember I lost. Even that concept, it made me think of everything that the world government established in their world, and that devil fruit counters all of it. My question is this: is it the only devil fruit, or does it connect to other people? You know what I mean? It opens such another door, and it's so interesting. It changes the game field. That's why I love it. Kind of shows you that there was something. I think he was not the only one. But for some reason, he's the only one who could remember. For some reason, I don't know why. Because I think he never gave up.
Yeah, my whole theory is that Luffy's devil fruit is definitely not the only devil fruit that we're going to get recontextualizing on. I believe fully that Buggy is also in possession of a god fruit.
Yeah.
I think that would be amazing, as if we got a chaos reveal from him, and that's exactly what's been kind of driving him as the force of nature that he is across the seas since the beginning of the story.
Also, I'm gonna say something to the people who were hating on the the whole thing of Luffy's fruit. I'll say this, okay? People will say, yeah, it was better when it was just a regular paramecia. I'm sorry. The moment the gears were introduced, it was no more than the regular paramecia. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, gears does not make sense.
Gear 2 kind of makes sense, but anything beyond that, I'm just Gear 2 and 3 kind of. But 4, I was just what?
Yeah. Literally a transformation. There was literally a transformation. You could see between Bounceman and Bounceman and Snake Man, the two contrasts. That was what Rob Lucci did. He went bulkier to a thinner one, but then went back to his bulkier form. Yeah. So yeah, that's why. So that's why for me, that was my problem with it. With his fruit. And remember, I'm a big believer. I believe his gears were imperfect versions of his awakening. He was missing something. And I think he was missing the joy boy component. I think, you know what he was missing? Truly understanding what it is for people, like to fight for a real reason. I think until this point, he never really had a real reason to fight. And it sounds crazy when you think about it, but I think you think about this. What happened before time skip? He lost Ace. And I think that was the humble that he needed, just like Kid and Law needed it. And I think Luffy has been trained so hard by Garp with Sabo and Ace that he's been doing everything physically. Hence why it was physically draining him. Just Kid and Law are saying it physically drains them to use their gears, their awakening. So that's how I see it. Luffy was missing something, and it was on the mind aspect.
Yeah, and I mean, there's an argument as well, because, like, we know that Gear 2, when he wasn't at the point where he needed to be hockey-wise for his physical body to be able to withstand what it was doing to him, like his devil fruit was doing to him, that it was shaving years off of his life. And we've heard Law specifically saying like something like that as well, like multiple times over. But like the first time we heard it was in, I think, Punk Hazard, when he flipped a galleon on top of like a full battlefield, and he was just like, yo, I can't do that a lot. You know, that just shaved like time off of my life. And so like I think that like that was like when Law was in his own like Gear 2 form, his own imperfect awakening, as you put it. I like that. Yeah. And by the time he got to Dressrosa, he had kind of honed it to be a little closer to the true awakening when we saw him first use Gamma Knife, and it was sometime in between then. And like I think it's interesting to like try and map out like other people's, like, because like if anyone else has like a ridiculously super special, you know, like devil fruit, it's Law. Law and Luffy, especially now that we know like what we know post Wano about like Luffy's fruit and Law's capabilities with his fruit. I think, like, I don't know, it's wild to think about just like how diverse certain devil fruit powers and the whole suite that they kind of encompass can be. And yeah, like specifically Nasty Ninja, a big old homie in the chat put, imagination is key. And like I'm wondering what other devil fruits can do just ridiculous things outside of just what we have been shown, because of like people just bouncing off the walls and like really finding out something that is just bizarre. Because like when I first saw that Doflamingo was able to stitch up his own wounds and things like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's the thing everybody talks about. That's the craziest thing. He uses strength to just heal himself.
Yeah, and like what other fruit, you know? And so like that's the thing, is like if we were thinking, like truly thinking about like things like this all along, do I think that the Nika, you know, like flashback or like the Nika contextualization, I feel like it could have been name dropped a little earlier than the Who's Who thing, but as far as the reveal on what Luffy's fruit is, I think it was done pretty well. Like more well than I think any other 25-year-old, like, you know, like a cooking, like, you know, reveal like that. I like it, and I really like what it has provided to the story in the manga since its reveal. And I think that the anime will continue to, you know, like do a pretty good job of bringing those moments, like going into Egghead and whatnot, into a whole new light. Like I this was like on panel, it was so exciting and things like that. But like the fight scenes that are coming in the anime are just gonna like blow me away. I already know it, and they already kind of have. But like that's the one thing, is like I, as a One Piece fan, am so excited. But I can understand how certain fans can see it a different way. But if you're not even a fan and you just show up to crap all over Gear 5 Luffy and stuff like that, like I don't know, I don't get that agenda specifically.
Because it's very simple. It's the same reason why you've heard how vocal I am about Naruto, but I've always said my problem isn't like I respect the offer stuff like that. A lot of work he's done. I'm just not agreeing with the last saga. You know what I mean? After Pain, that's for me the last saga, and for me I don't agree with anything with it. But overall, for me, it is a complete thing. And the problem is that people forget about it. Is the reason why I did not agree with Naruto wasn't for the. It was the plot as well, but mostly the fighting, how they ended a lot of things. With One Piece, you could say whatever you want to say about the anime. Okay, you could say anything about the powers, but the problem is with One Piece is the power system is based off the story. It's willpower. It's will. It's not something. It's not something like concrete, specific. It's not key. It's not what is it? Zenkai boost like in One Piece, in Dragon Ball. It's not Shikigami like in Bleach. It's not Nan that it's so well explained that it's all about what your experience, everything goes to what you're willing to risk for your life. No, it's about how you feel about people. Kinemon is a prime example. Kinemon, Dressrosa was not the same Kinemon in Wano, and we know it's all about how he felt being in Wano. So yeah, so that's why I do agree with you. And just people forget that the offer is on a blank canvas. We still have it. Like I'll say this, I'm still not sure if I actually like Gear 5. Why? Because we don't know the real reason of Gear 5, the full scope. There might be more changes. I tell people we might hate Gear 5 in 6 months, literally. So we have to see where it goes, because we still haven't had a flashback that explains Gear 5. Vegapunk has only mentioned the white. I still say the white liberator when he said that the Vegapunk. I'm starting to believe that there's a racist side to Vegapunk. Dude, it is so weird. Someone did bring it up once, and it's weird when you think about it. Just like Zoro, he mentioned him being a white liberator, and then what was the video? Well, his inspiration, and the reason why he left his country, the original inspiration. And he thought, what if there's a pivot thing where he's able to do that, but he may be a bigot behind the scenes? Which is funny because if he's actually a true bigot, it would be funny that he's friends with Dragon, who is clearly not white. We look at Dragon, you cannot say he's white, so that's why, yeah. But yeah, that's my whole thing. I think people forget that it's a story, foremost. It's not an anime. It's not a shonen. It's a shonen anime manga if you want, but it's mostly about story. It's a novel. And what do you do with a novel? You never question a novel until the story's done. Simple like that. That's how I see it. The way I see One Piece is a novel. The way they introduce everything. And before I was going to say this, I'm sorry to believe that Buggy's fruit might be a special fruit as well. Because I recently realized how much a Buggy can survive with his fruit. 3 fights with Roger Pirates and the Whitebeard Pirates, when we know he's not up to that. Able to survive all the stuff in Marineford. I'm starting to believe that he might be mythical as well. I know it's horrible, I hate it, but I'm starting to believe that there might be a zone aspect to his fruit.
Well, it's like what we were saying earlier whenever I was talking with Lucas, is like, once you introduce like the concept of clones or time travel or now like gods, god fruits and things like that, like now, like
yeah, exactly.
we're like, how many of these things are going to be crawling out of the woodworks and stuff like that. But Buggy is definitely something that I've been thinking about for a very long time, since before the time travel reveal, since before the clone piece was real and things like that. Because like, I don't know, yeah, I've talked to you about it a lot in VC before, Q, but like for the folks in the chat, for the lovely individuals who are making sure that they like the stream, it's really interesting the way that Oda had originally only intended to write one devil fruit into the story, the Gomu Gomu, but have it to where there were multiple different Gomu Gomus, but that was the only one singular devil fruit. Like, it was only rubber powers, and multiple people could have like rubber power like that. But that was the way he had originally, like in the Romance Dawn era, like prepped devil fruit as a concept. And then somewhere along the lines, before that ended up switching and becoming like what we know of it today as the devil fruit system, he had to have created all of the other types of devil fruit. And the first other devil fruit in the story that we actually get introduced to is the Bara Bara no Mi, like aside from like obviously Luffy's, in Buggy's powers and things like that. So that has to have just a ridiculous amount of significance in my opinion. As far as like it being like it's effectively like outside of the first devil fruit, like the prototype for all devil fruit that he made, the Gomu Gomu no Mi, which is very integral to the entire story that we've gotten. The first like other devil fruit, like second wave devil fruit that he ended up like making, and I don't know if it's the first one he made, but it's definitely the first one he put into the story to introduce us, was it's contextually meant to be a bit of like a foil to Luffy's fruit, like kind of like rock paper scissors. Like this is like the, you know, it's meant to have like an opposite weakness type of thing. Like whereas like Luffy, you know, is not subjected to like bludgeoning types of damage or like straight force, and he can bounce those back, and even certain piercing damage is not going to like really affect him. But it's shown that he is affected by slashing damage, where then we have the complete foil of that with the Bara Bara no Mi. And then the naming scheme of devil fruit specifically with the Bara Bara onomatopoeia, meaning like a chaotic dispersal. I think that if we do go back and like after we got the Gear 5 reveal in the manga, everybody was going back to chapter 1 and like rereading everything we thought we knew about the Gomu Gomu no Mi, right? Like I think that if we do that same thing with the Bara Bara no Mi, more people are going to realize that it's not as it seems. Like absolutely. And I would love if it was like we have a warrior of liberation, like a sun god. I would love if we had like a god of chaos, and if that's what we got from Bucky, that would make my day. Because I've been on this for like over 2 years, like since before I knew anything about Nika or any of these other like things, these major gigantic bombshells that Oda's been dropping on us like week after week with all of this.
Actually, I have an idea of 3 fruits, like they're all connected together. Because if you think about it, Buggy, Blackbeard, Luffy's fruits are orange, different style of fruits, but orange pattern. All 3 of them were liberators and impelled down. And if you think about it, one is immune to blunt force, one is immune to slices, and one is naturally able to heal himself. He takes the damages, but he said he could withstand almost a lot of stuff, and we see him heal some of the wounds with his darkness. What if like they're all a piece of a pie? You know what I mean? And one of them is chaos. It could be Buggy. Blackbeard could be, I don't know, complete darkness. And Luke is the light, the sun god. You know, Buggy is the middle ground between chaos.
Yeah, I think
that would explain why he splits. Think about it. He splits apart between both. That's why his power is to split. He has for some reason connects to both of them.
Well, if you like think about things specifically from like a spatial, you know, an observational like viewpoint and things like that, there is you know, the light that is cast and things like that, and then the shadows that are cast by the light and whatnot. But before even that, like there was a primordial chaos that the universe had to be born into, like, you know, like and so this is like the void that other voids fit into. This is like the old, like, I don't know, like chaos is like definitely like it's something that gave birth to like Gaia in Greco-Roman like mythology and things like that. And when you get into other like mythos and other pantheons, it's definitely something that I think it would be crazy if we didn't get some sort of chaos fruit, right? Like, and where else would it be hiding is my whole thing, you know? Like,
yeah, because I'm starting to believe, I know I'm in the headcanon as well of Buggy's fruit. I think there's a mythical aspect to it. There's a zone aspect, because the durability of it, we don't talk about it, but he's quite durable. And this could be, think about it. People say that, yeah, Buggy is hiding his true level. What if that's a true level of it? He doesn't know about it. He hasn't used that other pattern of it, but the pattern that he knows how to use is how to survive with that fruit. I can explain. I said this, regardless of who he is in Marine Force. Him surviving 3 days and 3 nights with the Roger and the Whitebeard pirates. This is more to him just being able to split around. You need to have endurance, durability to be able to withstand those 3 days, 3 nights. Buggy and Shanks and Blackbeard make sense because of their level. We're shown time and time again that Buggy is some sort of fraud and esque type of character. How does he, as a child, survive this long? Maybe it could be his fruit. Because they both didn't have a fruit. Well, Blackbeard didn't have his fruit by then, and Shanks doesn't have a fruit, but Buggy already had his fruit. Because he split that during the fight. I'm starting to believe his fruit is the reason why he's able to withstand so long. Not saying he's not strong. I'm just saying back then, that could have been the reason why he survived the battle. He would just get back up. And Whitebeard and Marco did not make it seem like he was powerful when they re-saw him. They did recognize him. So I'm pretty sure he was known to be basically the one. And remember, they said there's always a black sheep on the crew. Maybe he was known as the one who would take all the hits but just get back up. No,
A lot of people make jokes about like if we get like a One Piece sequel or whatever, like Two Piece or Boofy or like, but legitimately, I need to see like Buggy and Shanks like being apprentices like on the Oro Jackson like back in the day. Like I need to see more of that. That was one of the most hyped moments whenever I got to actually see like in the Odin flashback like some of that. It was amazing. So that would be amazing, and I really do hope we get more from the past with those two, because obviously they're gonna be important in the future, being current Yonko and whatnot. But like, I really hope we do get more, because like even that one little panel we got where it recontextualizes like Shanks and Buggy's relationship post Wano was amazing. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm starting to also think that maybe Buggy staying in the crew this long. People say, "Oh, he was born in their crew." I'm starting to believe we know what Buggy's dream is, right? Become Pirate King, or like he now to go like form, fame and fortune, everything. But that's Buggy after leaving the Roger Pirates. I'm wondering if we were the other day I was talking with Kev DOG and we were talking about how maybe NL, Blackbeard, and Luffy have the same sort of dreams. He said Blackbeard and Luffy. I said, what if it's all about the moon? Would explain why NL, specifically in front of Luffy, never used the word moon, but the big verb or whatever it was, the grand verb. So I said, but what if Buggy, when he was a child, he told one of his dreams, like his dreams out loud at one point, and it changed. Obviously, dreams could change a bit. What if his initial dream is what made, because Rayleigh sees a lot into Buggy. See what I mean? Like Rayleigh seems to see a lot of promise, and it's Rayleigh. I think it's about his initial dream. I always said, like, what if Buggy had a dream before that? Because now again, he changed his dream again. He added on to it. What if he had something more simple back then, and then got spoiled by everything around him? What we'll find out his initial dreams. The same as Shanks seem to see something into Buggy that no other person sees as well. The way he looks at it. He doesn't look like, for me, Shanks doesn't look like a hypocrite or Buggy. It looks like he is mocking him, but there's something about him that he respects.
No, yeah, I would agree. And damn, I didn't even think about it. Like earlier, Lucas was asking like, of the upcoming non-spoiler Egghead, bits that we've gotten in the manga, what do you think you're most hype about for being animated now that we've finally gotten through the whole Gear 5 hurdle and whatnot? And I was saying a bunch of things because Egghead is like straight fire, but really, honestly, I am so hyped to see Buggy's speech. Like that was one of the most crowning moments in the entire series for me so far as like the hype, the actual hype of like the story getting underway. Like Shanks just smiling and like looking at Ben Beckman and like like what do you think we should get? Like that shook the world a little bit, but like Buggy's speech was some next level, and I need to see that animated. I cannot wait for that.
For me, it's something different. As you know, as if you remember who is my favorite character, which chapter I can't wait to be animated. Flame Emperor Sabo.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a. Oh,
and also, not even as a Sabo fan, as anyone a fan of One Piece, when you found out that Sabo and Luffy were named emperors of the same chapter, but they say that because of Sabo's actions, he became more popular than Dragon, better image, and that pushed 8 countries out of the 20 to revolt. That's such a great moment. Like literally, the world is waking up. But yeah. But yeah, the buggy one. Obviously, I'm very excited for that one. But being a Sabo super fan, that is the one thing I'm waiting for. But the buggy one's like a top 2 for sure, top 3, because it does change a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then I mean the named attacks, like obviously getting Divine Departure, Galaxy Impact, and stuff like that. Honesty Impact, it's gonna be crazy hype once we get those animated as well. But
Yeah, Galaxy Impact. I can't wait for it. So, the
We
frauds,
are-
the people who call him a fraud.
we're coming up on the 3-hour mark here, so we're probably gonna go ahead and call it shortly. I just wanted to see
Yeah,
if you had any
just-
other
there
final
was
thoughts on
there was one
1071
question.
or 1089.
Yeah, there was just one question of something that the Wheels of Dream asked, and it's like quite interesting. He said, "Do you think Joy Boy used the Nika fruit to self-sacrifice into a son to really save the One Piece world?" I did. But it's interesting. You think that when he took it, he knew what was going to happen, and he was ready to do that sacrifice?
I think it's interesting because like if we got confirmation that the fruit has not been awakened since like the void century. They said like 800. So we do know that it absolutely was awakened at one point before, and yeah, I think that somebody who had access to just that amount of power back in such a different meta. The One Piece world was so different back then, and in ways that we might never fully understand. It just depends on how Oda handles that. But I think that knowing what we know about the Nika fruit, literally anything is possible, and that could be it. And it would make sense as to why Joy Boy would have written an apology letter, like a sorry, like like he didn't really get to do everything he wanted to do for one reason or another. But I don't know for certain. I'm just like really excited to see Oda continue to set up these dominoes and knock down and give these big payoffs and whatnot, because aside from I would say like the traitor like being revealed as York, like I think that like pretty much everything post Wano has been solid gold 10 out of 10, like and I think we're gonna get more from the bits that I think, like it's not that I don't think that like the whole like I loved the mystery, like the whole whodunit aspect. I just like thought that there should be more to it maybe. And so like I don't know, like I'm curious to see where Oda goes with some of the more amazingly large reveals that we might get, and know what gaps there might be in between those that he doesn't choose to fill in and leaves open-ended for us potentially. But that'd be really interesting, is if the world was legitimately in jeopardy, and because that could be exactly what's happening like right now as well. But we haven't gotten the stakes raised that high yet. But I feel like that's definitely where it's going.
Exactly. I've said every point I need to say, honestly.
Yeah. So we'll just go ahead and close up with a few shameless plugs. If you guys want to, for those of you who stuck around, thank you so much. Make sure you like these stream.
Appreciate it.
SSJ8 Cody, I see you in the chat. You are goated for real. And everybody, make sure you go check out Group 8 on Thursdays on Cody's Twitch. We've done some community posts here in the Last Arc channel. You can also find the other Last Arc channel, Last Arc YT, which is where we drop theories. We got some spice coming out very shortly from a few of our wonderful creators. Cube just had a recent video drop there, which is doing very well. So make sure to go check that out as well. We got 3Day, who has done some videos there, and then also on the Den Kushi channel. Links should be in the description for all of those. Straw Hat Lucas joined us earlier. He's got the News Coup dropping as chapter reviews every single week. You can go check those out on the Last Arc Theory channel as well. And make sure you join the server if you're on Discord, link in the description, so you can get involved in some of the wonderful One Piece D&D campaigns that we've got going on. The DM of Group 2, the Scarlet Pirates, Group 2 solos, and the Scarlet Pirates will be adventuring every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST on my channel. Again, link in the description. Cube, you got anything else you wanted to say before we let the people go about their day?
No, honestly, sorry for being a bit late, but more than a bit late. I want to say to everyone who came, who passed by, who is still there, you guys are goats. We appreciate you all. And yes, go check out my latest video. And also remember, GARPS is Rocket League Zebex. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, yeah, y'all have a wonderful rest of the day. Looking forward to catching 1072 tonight and probably reading 1090 later today. But we have been the last arc. You have been wonderful. Thank you guys so much, and y'all have